is trillions of years, and that shit is never ever going to get out of there.
Not in our lifetime. Speaking of
All
our
right.
lifetime, last we checked in on our heroes, you
Our
guys
intrepid hero.
our intrepid, totally just good people heroes. Nothing but good intentions here. You're dragging.
Definitely the hero here.
Yeah, you're dragging an innocent prisoner in his box back to the people you saved with their friends. After you got
We're gonna
raided
get
by
so many-
horrible, nasty pirates.
We're going to get so many good boy points.
Yeah, you get back to the power plant. You notice a waterlogged has buried several of the gear boys up to their neck in sand and is trying to force raw meat into their mouth.
All right. Dredger will put the ship's wheel down, kind of limping, but slowly having his body knit back together, and say, "Please unbury the gear boys. We don't harm or don't do anything to the gear boys, please. We need them to be unmolested and safe."
You notice they've only buried 3 out of the gear boys, so they just grab them by the hair and just yank them up out of the sand. The
Dredger goes, "What?"
gear boy just lets out a scared yelp. And as soon as they're out, they scamper back into the power plant straight for the bunker.
Dredger will ask, "What caused you to do this?"
Looks down at the food. Gestures vaguely towards putting the food in, like the raw meat it's torn out of a creature. Gestures vaguely towards like trying to put it into the mouth of the gear boy. The gear boy is like screaming and trying to get his head back.
Okay, Dredger will say, yes. People who are not waterlogged have very different food requirements. What you were giving him would harm him, not in any interesting way. It would just make him vaguely miserable.
It seems to consider that for a second, and then slowly begins moving the raw meat back to his mouth, like considering it.
We would much prefer you do not do this, and please don't interact with the gear boys unless they interact with you first.
The waterlogged nods, both 2 hands, grabs the 2 remaining gear boys, just yanks them out of the sand, and goes about its business in a nearby lagoon.
When nobody is watching, Dredger will kind of wander over to a random pool and throw up from the stress of being a bad guest. He will feel a lot better after doing that. He is at like half willpower though, so he's probably not feeling great.
What did that look like from Gallant's perspective?
Oh shit.
Honestly, it just looked like a grown man was playing with a bunch of children. Like at this point, like the pirates are like significantly bigger and stronger looking than like the Gear Boys, and the Gear Boys are kind of like almost just kids in his viewpoint, because like they play Jenga and they keep to themselves and like tinker with stuff, and he just thinks they're all like superpowered kids at this point because
Okay.
clearly they have no ability to defend themselves outside of strange technology that they built in their mom's basement.
Seeing how Gallant is taking this all so delightfully in stride, Dredger will turn and ask, not to Gallant specifically, but in the direction of Gallant, "May we ask why it is you are making his life G-rated?"
Gallant doesn't even like register he said anything to him and goes inside.
Okay.
Just follows the food into the building because he's hungry.
Dredger will sort of look about himself, grab the Philosopher's Stone, and stare into a deep pool and offer a small prayer to whatever it is he holds dear, and say, and mutter to himself, "We need the Gear Boys to like this stone. We need the Gear Boys to like this stone."
I will say at about that time, Exit Wound is going to come in on the solar surfboard. How's he holding up after all this?
He's pretty good. He's surprised he's not dead, but like not bothered by that fact, honestly.
There's no one who will
And
ever be
he's
able to.
gonna-
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, there's no one
He
who will be
doesn't
able to
have any-
experience it. But
Go ahead, Tom.
yeah, sorry, that my fault. There's no one who will be able to experience it. But as he's flying in, Hidden Sorrows is standing there with like the two glowing things they have at the airport, marking him in.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
You're good. You're good. Floor it.
But yeah, he kind of just surfs the surfboard into his sniper perch. Sets it
Oh
aside,
hell yeah!
puts it up nice like a surfer would, his actual surfboard, like, and then just makes his way down towards the common area to go like talk about everything that happened a little bit.
Could we do a minor retcon and say that Hidden Sorrows threw a solar board into the container before teleporting here?
Sure, those things are fucking everywhere.
Okay. So Dredger will walk up to the cube and see how the prisoner is looking.
Not great. Nothing physically wrong with him, weirdly enough. It's more like there's no sign of injury or like starvation. It's just like wide eye, no light behind, like lights are on, nobody's home.
Okay, seeing that, Dredger will take a moment to consider his actions and say, like, look Omega right in the eyes and say, "Be thee at ease. Sleep until they are whole. Sleep until they are well and sound of mind." And I'm going to roll persuasion on that.
All right, go for it.
How many fucking... I'm not going to use the hard dice for this, because that seems like it could be a bad idea.
Okay.
I'm going to choose to have this be 2 10s.
Okay. You see the prisoner close their eye, like slowly, eyes unfocus. Oh, less like focus in for a second, then unfocus, and then the eyes slowly close, and then shoot back open, and then for the first time in several eternities, Omega is awake again. Tom,
Wait, that's all it took?
deduct 500 creature points.
Okay.
We are currently at 2,700 critter points. So back to 2,200 critter
And
points.
just so it's known, I have been building the Fata Morgana assuming 500 points, as you had said.
Cool. So Alex, what's the last thing you think Omega remembers?
That's a good question.
Is that me breaking up or is that Alex?
You're breaking up a bit, Alex.
My internet. Hang on. Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay. So he's probably going to wake up. The last thing he remembers is a big fight that he was in. We had discussed it kind of briefly that he was like in one of those like black market, like the thing that Mammon Gray wants us to beat up those two guys before the next one happens. What was that again?
Festival of Berries.
Yeah, so he was like at one of the festival of berries, and a fight broke out, and since he's the strongest, he decided to prove it and started fighting everybody. And then the next thing that he remembers was something he had like started to get knocked out, and before he could recover, something like trapped him in a box or something, and then just like a lot of weird memories. And now he's here.
All right.
It
Dredger,
was like he was half asleep for most of it, but he's gonna shake himself awake a little bit.
Dredger will say then, "Hello, we are called the Dredger. We have found you with some of our compatriots, and rescued you from a truly wretched place, the likes we did not even know existed in this region. We would ask that you join our group here. We prepare for a war."
Okay, so he's gonna he finishes getting up. Any injuries that were on his body are basically gone,
Reasonable.
and he just kind of like cracks his neck, and then you watch him shapeshift instantly into he goes from being about 6'4" to being about 7'10", with like just full on buff werewolf look, like
Hell
kind
yeah.
of blood covered muzzle, even though you've definitely not seen him kill anything recently. His claws are like tipped in gold, it looks like, because they're just very much not natural looking. And then
Okay.
The fur is like all black, aside from the patches that are like, for whatever reason, strangely covered in blood, like blood splatter.
Dredger steps back a bit to allow you room to finish your transformation and says, "This is quite impressive."
Just turns and kind of like growls, "You said something about a war."
Yes, we prepare. Currently, we are building our strategies and collecting people and materials. You were recommended to us by Mammon Gray as perhaps one of the greatest warriors in this entire region of the city.
He's gonna think for a second. You can see him like physically tilt his head. That's how you know.
You're like,
Just kind of, yeah, but like less like cute dog and more just like intimidating. Like you're unsure if he's thinking gonna kill you because you seem to be implying like he owes you a favor, or just he's trying to remember. And then he's gonna respond just, "Mammon Gray sounds familiar. Omega is not the best with names."
Dredger will nod knowingly at that and say, "It is perhaps not as important here. Many of the people we have here appear to bear the same name and same face. It does get somewhat confusing. However, they can repair your armor should it require repairs at all."
When you mentioned that, he kind of like looks down at his chest and like pawls towards the center of it and realizes that it's not there, and says, "Where?"
If you would bring your armor inside, this is likely it's actually quite a good thing. Several of our people are. Are you familiar with Waterlogged? And
Just stares at you blankly.
Several of our people are zombies of the waters, and there has been some friction between the groups. Those we have to repair and manage our technology are perturbed, let us say. Your armor being here is quite fortuitous. There's just been an event as we've returned from the prison, and some incredible treasure kind of shakes his hand around. Pharaohmancy like this will be perhaps a very good distraction for them to ignore the terrible thing that has just happened.
He kind of like nods as you finish saying that and just says, well, as long as the armor gets fixed, I suppose it's fine.
Dredger will help you bundle the armor up, offering up the shell of whatever the waterlogged were ripping flesh off of to use as a basket.
It looks like there's a still living rock crab just with its legs torn off near the power plant. Looks like they broke into its shell and were just steadily scooping meat out from there.
Fresh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have can I have Dredger like wing a rock over into it to see if we can put it down?
A rock. Just throwing a rock at it probably isn't enough, but you can rip water out of stuff, right?
Can Alpha or can Omega throw a rock at it? Like a big rock.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. As he sees Dredger like pick up a rock and try to like do that just for the sake of expediency, he grabs like a boulder nearby and just yucks it onto the thing.
It liquefies. It's like a bug getting a rock dropped on it. It just splatters out in like a 10-yard radius around it.
There's a toothy grin that forms on Omega. It's been a long time. Then he
It's
just
a long time since he threw something at someone
looks
hard enough to make
backward.
him explode.
Yeah. And he just kind of looks over at Dredger and says, like I said earlier, I'm fine for helping out with a war, but don't think that I work for you or any other. I do what I want when I want, and right now, I want to sleep. And he's gonna go just take a nap for now. Because despite being asleep,
where does he sleep?
No, he stomps on into the door. He, instead of like ducking underneath of it, he like gouges a hole for his head, then like just pushes through the like concrete area into the rooms, and finds himself like a nice spot somewhere. Probably in that room where they were like all the pillars collapsed and stuff. He'll probably set up in there somewhere.
Okay.
For some reason, I'm imagining him making this hole by, like, not knocking his head into the doorframe over and over again. But I see, like, his snout just starts fucking spinning, and it's like a drill.
If he had the armor on, maybe, because that would be kind of cool. But right now, is the armor technically fixed, Sam?
So you guys look over at the box. Like 3 gear boys have just descended on it. Since we're a session down. Yeah, I'm just gonna say they're able to just fix it instantly, so that way we're back on a normal timetable.
Okay.
Dredger will. Sorry.
You see Barry 9 going, okay, first thing working with subatomic layered armor, it's just Jenga. He knocks it, begins reassembling itself.
That's funny. It's just Jenga.
As we all move to sleep after the events of the pirate attack, Dredger will go and try to smooth things over with the gear boys.
You notice one of the gear boys is like just in the corner of the bunker, just assembling a pipe, some copper wire, and some glass into like a laser gun, eyes peeled, not blinking. Looks like he was one of the ones buried.
I have some. Would that work? I have knowledge applicable to it. Would I know that would work?
What, the laser gun?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be able to get that working once he found a power source.
Dredger will get that. Will sit down next to him while he's working, and say, "We are truly sorry for what has happened to you. What you have there would be quite effective, but we would like to offer you, for what has happened here, a greater power source, as well as the knowledge that we have informed the waterlogged to not interact with you and yours, unless you interact with them first." And Dredger will hand him the Philosopher's Stone.
He doesn't recognize it at first, and then his eyes go wide for a second. He kind of like gently reaches for it and goes. He looks at his laser gun, looks back at you, and goes, "And I have your word that they won't fuck with us."
We will do everything in our power to guarantee they do not. At this very moment, we cannot guarantee it will not happen again, but we will be going over there almost directly after this to talk with all the waterlogged we have and explain to them very, very carefully what is going to happen here.
Okay, what's your persuasion dice pool?
One wiggle dice, but charm is huge.
Okay, so you don't need to roll because with any success, he's just going to interpret your hesitance as like, oh, there's going to be some time where you're going to go talk to them and you can't guarantee they're going to mess with me in that 5-second interval. Okay, covering his bases, I got it. He's going to think that over, nod, put down the gun and go, can I see that? Pointing to the Philosopher's Stone.
Yes, you may have it.
He cradles it gently and goes, I gotta get to the lab, and he's gonna scamper off.
Mm-hmm.
Can I has that?
Yes. Then Dredger will get up and go to the waterlogged lair. And what's that look like?
So they found a hollowed out little alcove underneath the power plant where the water kind of eroded some of the foundation. They've you can kind of tell it's there just based on the number of not dead creatures with their limbs torn asunder, impaled upon nearby trees, driven into the ground, and generally thinned as much as possible before they bled out. You just see the waterlogged blending in perfectly with the darkness. You can just barely make out, like, some of them have stitched themselves together with metal fragments that glint gently in the light. But that's pretty much the only part of them you see right now. But you're aware they're there.
Dredger will say to everyone, or will say to them, everyone, we would ask, nay, we would demand that you do not interact with the Gear Boys lest they interact with you first. Now, we realize this goes against your nature somewhat, if not quite a bit. And we would offer this as an explanation for how this would benefit you. By having the Gear Boys help us, by having them make armor and tools and weapons, we can grow more powerful. And we can take then the greatest game. Those beings and those people who are so powerful and so sure of themselves, they do not, and perhaps have never, known fear. With the help the Gear Boys can give us, that they can only give us if they are happy and whole and unmolested, they can give us the ability to frighten and hate and kill the most powerful beings in this part of the world. And see the light in their eyes as they know fear for the first and last time. after being so sure of themselves and them being the top of the food chain?
So, towards the tail end of that statement, a piece of polished bone with a very familiar rune is slid across the muddy bottom of the alcove. And you immediately intuit the waterlog's meaning because you recognize the rune from the time back when you were Avery that you went to make a deal with the whalers.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Rune Mother's insignia. They're basically asking if we're going to kill the Rune Mother or if that is on the table.
Dredger will think about that for a moment and say, we may very well need to kill her. We would like to, and at this moment we are unsure if we need to. But yes, we did plan to do that. That you and yours can expand out as far as you might desire.
With that, the creatures in the darkness, if not sated, seem a bit more at ease.
All right. Dredger will walk out of the room. And while he does have the respect of these beings, he's no fool and he wouldn't do them disservice of showing that he trusts them. He walks out backwards, maintaining eye contact with as many of them as he can.
Good call.
Only turning around from the room when he's about 50 yards away. And then he goes back to his own room and falls into his bed.
Alright, that's a busy day complete for Evil Squad. Day begins early with the sounds of heavy construction equipment as the Gear Boys are finishing up their workshops and reversing the Mark IIIs.
Okay.
So pretty much all the projects you guys had slated for last session have already completed. And that puts us on our mission for today. You guys still wanted to check out the Poseidon energy ruins, right? In the flotilla?
So
What direction do you want to go, Alex?
I want to do that, but how long does it take us to get there?
Avery has a teleport, right?
Yeah, Dredger can teleport can teleport himself and up to 1,600 pounds of people.
So,
And so long as there's a way we can be, so long as there's a point every 1,500 miles that we can be submerged, it should be like the swimming equivalent of wearing 7-league boots, where shit just keeps flashing by.
in that
Okay.
case, the flotilla is close enough that you guys can pretty much get there with like one hop, pretty much, 2 at max. The
So we
flotilla
could
is not
go
far from here.
So I want to go do the flotilla just because it gets us those extra critter points, so that we
Yeah.
can start like getting the build up fast. I understand that we need what was the other thing?
Well, there
What
was the
was the
other
name of
hideout, the lagoon.
Yeah, the lagoon. That was it. We need the lagoon to build the ship, though, right? Or is that
Yeah.
just to upgrade the ship.
That would be to build it, as I understand, and having access to the lagoon is also good for some naturally occurring materials that I know that Sam has said happened there. Get us some soul stones. Were those a thing in V1?
No.
Kind of.
We hadn't gotten into like what they do or what they are really. Somebody
Okay.
mentioned it in passing like one time, I think. But I am down for either of those. So if you would prefer to do the thing so we can build the ship, that's fine too. I want to say 250 points a thing. I might be wrong on that.
Sorry, I think I may have cut out there. What did you guys say?
How many points would...
Hold on, let me plug in my Ethernet. Let me see if it's... Or let me check the plug-in on my Ethernet. It is already plugged in. Maybe it's the port here. Test, test. Can you guys hear me?
Points first, then go build the ship, and then by the time all of that gets done, it'll be a good point where we can start like running interference type missions.
Yeah.
Hey, I can hear you guys again. Yeah, nice. Okay.
Which do you have, before we fully commit, which do you have more prep for, Sam? Poseidon Energy or the Lagoon? Like, which do you feel better about running?
Hard to say. Probably the Lagoon. Because I had that prepped first, I guess.
All right. You want to do the Lagoon then, Alex?
Sure, you can do the Lagoon.
Okay. So, you guys, you guys are pretty. Due to the Lord of the Drowning Folks influence, the wildlife is base, non-hostile towards you guys, so you guys can just do a few repeated hops. Are you guys bringing the waterlogged? Or are you leaving them with the gear boys?
So here's my current proposal. Alpha or Omega is going to set up in that one room and start like pumping out a couple of wolves because he likes to have his pack around. So I think before we leave, obviously Gallant probably doesn't do this, but maybe like Exit Wound will like go over and kind of just not instruct him, but like be like, hey, Omega, these gear boys, the guys that fixed your armor, they're getting kind of messed with or like harassed by the waterlogged or the zombie things you see around here. So if you want them to be able to keep fixing your armor and like upgrading stuff, you probably want to keep an eye on them and make sure they don't end up in the sand like they were when you got here. That's not exactly supposed to be happening. And basically they'll have like a quick short conversation where Alpha will I keep calling him Alpha, sorry. Omega will tentatively agree to like keep an eye on them strictly for the purposes of he likes new things, and if they keep building him new things, then it'll be a mutually beneficial relationship. So he's willing to let them like hang out with him, and like some of the wolves keep an eye on them so that if the waterlog get close, then the wolves will like distract them long enough for the guys to get away.
You should just make his first name actually Alpha.
Alpha and Omega.
Well, his name is Alpha now Omega, so like on the sheet it just says Alpha now Omega. He just goes by Omega, but like technically his name still is Alpha. He didn't get rid of that.
Very important. His name is Omega, not Alpha, because I did promise Hub Squad I wouldn't throw Alpha at them.
No, yeah, he goes by Omega.
It's Alpha.
He doesn't call himself Alpha. If they bring it up, he's gonna go, I'm no longer Alpha, I am the Omega.
Alfred Omegson.
So, once that conversation ends, you notice 3 gear boys just poking their head around the door. And, like, very tentatively, one of them is, like, sliding a box of Jenga into view.
Like, into the room that they're in?
Yeah, just, like, tentatively, like, seeing how you respond.
I
Alpha,
feel like
so Alpha sleeps like you would expect. Like, also when he goes to sleep, he goes into like big wolf form, not werewolf. Hi, Mom. So, give me 1 second.
I feel like Alpha being in the same room. That like this feels like you can have a. Is that a fucking fish Jenga moment, but with wolves?
What did I just miss?
That like we come in and you're just playing Jenga with wolves. It's like that.
Yeah, so
comment like, is that fucking fish Jenga?
No!
when he first like sees them come in, he's in his like giant like Fenris-esque wolf form, where he's just like a very large wolf surrounded by like, you know, normal sized, if not a little bit bulkier looking right now at least wolves. They only
Mhm.
mutate horrifyingly when he goes into fights, because you know.
Yeah, I mean, as you do.
So like it.
You're cutting out really
For a
badly.
second, looks at like the Jenga tower, kind of confused. God damn it! I don't know
You're back-ish now.
what else I can turn off. Yeah, I already talked to people about helping and getting it fixed. Hang on, let me close some of these tabs. Maybe that'll help. Okay. Essentially, he just like he picks his head up off his paws for a second, looks over at the tower. That are around, like, start nuzzling up to different gear boys a little bit.
They're
Okay.
terrified. They don't know what to make of this.
They're not like growling; they're just like brushing up against them. And some of them, if like they don't come in, some of the wolves will start like guiding them in and like helping them get more comfortable, kind of.
Bring in more Jenga.
One of them is just cradling the Jenga like it's a teddy bear, going, Do you like the stacky game?
If he's directing that at Alpha, the response is just like no movement, just a like low growl because he's in wolf form. Just no idea what the stacky game is,
Just
but you can play it in here if you want.
Just opens it, puts it down, lifts up the box. There's a Jenga tower. He's like, well, he pokes out a piece of the Jenga, takes it out, puts it on top. You take.
What is the skill of this game based off of, Sam?
It'd be a coordination or knowledge Jenga.
Yeah, so if they're asking him to play, essentially what happens is like they take the piece out and then without even looking, he just swipes the bottom. If like they took one from the middle section, he just swipes the other two pieces out of that section and it all falls down into a normal stack again. Because he's got 8 with 10s.
Damn.
Two of the gear boys applaud, and then they stop, and then look at the rules pamphlet and go, okay, so that technically counted as the tower falling. I think you lost.
Actually, I'm pretty sure as long as it doesn't fall out of a tower shape, you can do that.
They go, hold on, this is advanced Jenga. They open up the pamphlet, it's like 3 folds, and then 3 more folds fall out, and then the entire thing unfurls like a scroll across the floor, and they go, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that board of fabric I just folded.
We'll cut back to them later.
But yeah, the only other thing he would be doing would be eventually trying to like go do some of the like raiding that you mentioned of the like village tech, or what was it called? It was one of the options you gave us for like a quest line.
What, like recovering bog folk?
Yeah, that one. There we go. Loot tribal sites of power.
Yeah.
So like he would eventually get bored and like leave most of the wolves and go raid a tribal site every now and then. But like that's later on stuff. So for now he's just chilling, getting settled in.
All
right.
I'll take some of the minor ones and just throw a few of the major ones are more involved, but like the minor ones, yeah, Omega can do easily. So I'll just throw up some stuff in between sessions and throw that at you guys. Okay. That brings us back to, so who was Dredger teleporting to the lagoon area?
Well, how much? So, who all would be coming with us?
I think after that last endeavor, Exit Wound is going to politely state that he'll sit in his watchtower, and if you need him, he can range boost to assist, but he does not wish to go anywhere anymore for a little while.
Okay. Roll perception to make sure your watchtower is not just a very powerfully constructed Jenga tower.
I got at least 2 10s. I feel like he can see that.
You have a moment of panic as you're climbing one of the ladder rungs, where you're like, "Is this a fucking Jenga piece?" No, it's just a piece of scrap metal sticking out. It's not Jenga.
And then he just mutters under his breath. He's like, "These goddamn gear boys are gonna be the death of me."
Hey, depending on how tall this is, I just had an image of meeting a gear boy up there. You're both wearing insanely thick parkas, and he's like, "Hey, your perch is pretty high up. You want to play some low gravity Jenga?"
Okay, so exit wound is sighted in. Is the Hidden Sorrows? Is he coming with?
I mean, there's no reason for him not to. I guess he can't really go underwater where the plant is.
Or are we? I thought we were doing the lagoon.
Oh shit! Yeah, fuck. Yeah, the lagoon. Yeah, Hidden Sorrows will come too.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good. You guys bring anything else, or are you just gonna rely on credit points if you need summons?
We could probably just do. We can bring like 3 waterlogged and then rely on critter points. How many do we have again? Was it 8 or 6?
8.
Eight waterlogged.
So we can bring along 3 in case Dredger needs some help.
So Dredger will go assess which 3 waterlogged are the most reasonable to bring. I like to imagine the waterlogged are also playing Jenga, but like in a fucked up way.
So the waterlogged are all pretty uniform. They haven't really been differentiated in any major way yet.
Okay. Dredger will just take the first 3 he finds then.
All right. Do you want? We could give them names, but I'll just call them waterlogged 1, 2, and 3 for the moment.
Yeah, I have something I need to think about with the names either way.
Okay.
Dredger will want them to take names, but with the caveat that they don't tell him what the names are.
Fair enough.
He'll come up with monikers to call them based on what they do, but they do need to have a true name.
Okay. So, you guys do a few teleports with Hidden Sorrows, Gallant, Dredger, and 3 waterlogged. As the surroundings whiz by at blinding speeds as you traverse the waterways, you come across. You actually notice you stop significantly farther away than you should from the lagoon, and you're unable to teleport directly into the area where it should be.
Can Hidden Sorrows get closer with his teleport?
Hidden Sorrows has some difficulty, but he can.
All right.
Oh, also as a quick side note, Gallant, did he still have Excalibur? Because I technically took it from the ship.
Does. It is still in the stone. But
That's fine. He's gonna set that up. Like he drags it into the room where all the wolves are, and like sets it up in the center as like a decoration piece.
Good.
He's not bringing it with him?
Nah, he has no idea how to use it yet, and the armor doesn't like other things. He just wanted it because it looked cool, and he's like, I know what that is. I know what that is.
Deeply unfortunate.
How are you going to
Maybe
react if
someday
fucking...
I'll pull the sword from the stone?
Yeah, how are you going to react when one of the gear boys pulls a sword? Or if one of the wolves pulls the sword?
Oh my god, wait a minute, Sam.
Sif, 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 Sif.
That's how we discover which one is Fluffy, Sam.
The true wolf among wolves.
Yeah, sorry, back to the description of being stuck farther than we should have been.
So, this is when you first see these woods, this swamp, The first thing that comes to mind is old growth. The trees are gnarled, the sky is blackened. These trees are massive, extending hundreds of feet into the air. Entire skyscrapers get lost between their just gnarled roots.
Hmm.
The air doesn't feel so much wet as it feels unnaturally damp, as if supernatural energy hangs heavy in the air here. Occasionally, you'll see like the reflection of how light reflects on a wild animal's eyes before those disappear back into the darkness that permeates this place.
Dredger will inhale deeply and give a contented sigh and say, "This is the most comfortable we've been since we've been in this part of the city."
Gallant is looking around confused and just says, "Well, it sure is weird around here, but I don't think the armor's complaining, so
Your armor gives you the impression of being well fed, but like well fed on like Olive Garden, where it's like, yeah, I'm full, but this probably isn't the best for me specifically. I filled up on endless breadsticks and regret my life.
it's filled up on endless breadsticks."
Damn, so Dredger just likes that it's super damp here, and now Gallant's gonna think that Dredger fucking platinum member of Olive Garden.
Hey, we all have our memberships.
Actually, no, Olive Garden isn't in theme for Dredger. Red Lobster.
That's funny. I like that.
So,
Red Lobster stand.
Jesus Christ. Them biscuits, though. Anyway.
Yeah, those biscuits are rule.
As you guys go through the underbrush, you hear almost like a singing on the air. Less like a voice and more of like the hum of a taut wire. I'm going to need you guys to make a navigation check for me to get to the lagoon.
All right.
A navigation check. What would that even be under? Mind?
Under
Yeah,
mind.
Gallant has no idea.
Dredger gets 2 7s.
Yeah, you... Oof. You fight off the sound of the song for a moment as you try and get your bearings and realize you almost got turned around. But going through the gnarled woods and underbrush, you manage to find the path again. It's... I'm not gonna... You guys don't need to roll for this because your stats just do this check passively, but as you come across brambles and poisonous plants, you just kind of push Gallant in front, and he acts as like an icebreaker through all the awful toxic shit that's in your way.
Okay.
Hey, Alex, Gallant gains immunity to poison if he didn't have that already.
He had it.
Cool. I just wanted to make sure.
Darn it.
As the singing gets louder, it starts to kind of muddle the mind, and you begin to have a harder time looking away. I don't believe Gallant has immunity to song or musical effects, does he? Or any type of mind-altering effects?
He has immunity to external mind-altering effects.
Okay.
Keyword external.
Okay, in that case...
Oh, hyper charm external. I don't know if that applies.
It is an important difference. I'm going to need both of you guys to make stability checks for me.
I would ask, since Dredger has his immunity to mind control that doesn't meet certain requirements.
I forgot you had that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so... what are the exact requirements?
For what Dredger has?
Yeah, so is it just for like direct control and commands? If it's a paranormal effect that makes something very interesting, does that still count for his immunity?
You can't directly control or do anything that would control Dredger, like even nudge him really, without having the explicit permission of the Lord of the Drowning Folk.
Okay.
So the intent I had with that power is that if like Charlie were to attempt to try and find where his good friend Avery is, he would end up in a conversation with the Lord of the Drowning Folk, asking how that benefits it.
That's not really... Charlie's not really a mind control guy.
He isn't, but it's also it's an immunity to like anything that would steal control, anything that would... That you cannot find Dredger or take control of Dredger unless that is the explicit desire of the Lord of the Drowning Folk.
Okay. And influencing his decision making in a negative way would count towards that.
Yes, unless the Lord of the Drowning Folk agrees with whatever it is.
Okay, he would not. So Dredger is thus for immune to this. Gallant and the Waterlogged, on the other hand, you notice are being drawn into a deeper patch of brambles. Actually, wait, no, hold on. Gallant, what's your stability?
My stability is 2 normal die. And my command is 2, right? That's how the pool works. I don't have any training in stability.
Yeah. Okay. So.
But I assume the armor would just overwrite this eventually, right?
It will overwrite it eventually. It's going to be 2 rounds, because it's similar to something that it already has.
Does my permanent leadership help the Waterlogged make this check, even though they don't actually have command?
No, because they don't have command. They can't understand hierarchy.
Okay.
So, the Waterlogged... Gallant is moving slower. It seems like his armor grants him some natural resistance due to pre-existing immunities. But what you see happen to the Waterlogged is they just step into this pool of brambles, and you start seeing them be subsumed as the vines and thorns tear their way into their skin and flesh.
Oh.
One of the Waterlogged you see just unfurl into another tree.
Huh.
Spooky.
Dredger will sort of block Gallant and one of the Waterlogged and say, "We may be in the territory of another sovereign entity."
The Waterlogged is going to make a brawling check to push you down.
Fuck.
It's going to get 9/10s.
Okay. So, to my understanding, what is the exact location we're standing in like?
You're knee deep in water.
Then Dredger should have his armor up.
Okay, I thought it was only smoke. My bad. Or fog.
It is. He has to be in water or in fog.
That works. All right. So as you are made, like, his hand goes right through you, as if pushing through the surface of water itself. Now, I will ask how the Waterlogged's desiccating claws interact with your water form, since they remove the water of anything they touch.
I am not quite made of water. It is stranger than that.
Got it. As long as that works. Like, I wasn't sure if areas where the water was removed lost the defense. That is the case.
No.
All right,
The implication, or let me see just how I wrote this to verificationate that.
Okay. You're still going to have to make a brawling check. If you want to restrain both, you're going to have to make 2 brawling checks with multiple actions.
So you said that one of them turned into a tree.
Yes, the other one is just being torn apart by the brambles. The third one hasn't gotten to the pool yet, and Gallant is the farthest behind, but he still has one more round before his armor adjusts to the song.
Okay. Dredger will teleport them further away from the bramble.
Can you teleport a non-willing target?
Can I?
It's mass capacity only, right? You don't have a ranged?
It's both.
Well, the range is for the teleport, but you don't have like.
Oh, okay, yeah, and if we're just standing in knee-deep water, it doesn't quite count.
Tell you what, if you make a brawling check to grapple, I'll let you teleport a non-willing target.
Okay. Let me think here. What else do I got that I could do? What can I tell with my permanent perception about this song?
It's supernatural. It's definitely coming from the bog itself. The direction isn't real. It's coming from all around you. It's just luring you into whatever the nearest danger is. Based on the stories of old, this seems less of like what a will-o-wisp would do and more something protecting a sacred area.
Okay. Can I use follow the voice to the river to make another version of the song in a different location to hopefully confuse them?
So again, it's not like a real sound. That wouldn't really affect the paranormal influence.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just make the brawling check.
Okay.
Probably on Gallant first, because I feel like the waterlogged can rattle their way out of this shit.
Okay.
And will also be harder to stop. So 310.
Okay. Alex, I'm assuming Gallant wouldn't from Gallant's G-rated point of view. And also the Overkin actively influencing his perception. He doesn't have to perceive this as a hostile action. He can just perceive this as like his friend Dredger putting a hand on his shoulder. If you don't want him to resist, if that's cool with you.
No, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So Dredger Gallant's an incredibly strong guy. He just passively walking almost wrenches out of your hand, but he turns around as if, of your hands as you try and get a hold on him, but as you do that, he does stop, and that's enough for the armor to get the immunity down, to figure out the puzzle, and all of a sudden the song just goes away for Gallant. He doesn't even hear it. The third waterlogged kneels down in the pool of brambles and rips open its own chest, creating a pool of blood that nearby vines and leaves move and slither down to drink from. You see the waterlogged desiccating in real time.
Is this situation completely untenable for them, or would we be able to come back and pick up the pieces later and have them be able to put themselves back together?
Once you have control of the area, it would probably be a lot more tenable. As is, it might be a bit dangerous to really try to do a full salvage on them right now.
Okay. So Dredger will say to Gallant, there's something like a siren in this area. It seems to have taken our friends. tread carefully.
Hmm.
Actually, how have you perceived what's happened here? Did you hear it as song or?
Yeah, there was this funny music playing, and I got kind of distracted. I was looking for the speaker because it was bothering my head, but I feel better now. So, what happened to our pirate friends, though? He doesn't actually seem to be able to see any of the waterlogged anymore.
Can I ask a very important question, Alex? Is Gallant aware of paranormal anything? Because everything he's seeing is robots.
I feel like no is the answer. Like the thing just isn't letting him understand that magic is like a thing here. And he's also
Okay.
like too stupid to understand that like he shouldn't be able to survive the things he survives.
All right. This is powerful information. Thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna need a navigation check from both of you guys again. Now that the your heads are clear, and there's no pressing danger to either of you.
All right. Try again. That will be 2 3s.
All right. So, as you're working your way through the brambles and just over the horrific old growth of the bog area, at one point you get across this giant area of rotted leaves and woven together branches, and it seems impassable for a moment. But you notice the salt water and ichor of the waterlogged are flowing through the veins of this thing, and it just rots a hole in there for you. As death begins spreading through some of these plants.
All right.
That is,
Nothing if not convenient.
yeah, so what that basically is the waterlogged dying lowers the difficulty checks for this entire area. Because their
Oh.
corruption is spreading throughout this place.
Yeah.
That's I didn't know they were bringing that to the table.
Hey, waterlogged do work. They will always do their best when you bring them.
All right.
As you guys breach this, normally there would be some athletics checks here to scrabble over a hill, but a nearby giant tree has branches begin to fall and leaves the size of minivans drifted down gently, forming a very climbable, not exactly staircase, but a very scalable surface for both of you easily.
Okay.
Um,
It's a little sus, but like, Dredger wouldn't realistically be one who's scared about being taken by the Fae.
as you enter, you notice the air feels disturbingly cleaner. As if there's been a filth permeating the air throughout most of the flood district that's just gone here. As you guys come across what is best described as an oasis, almost opaque light blue water with a bioluminescence, beautiful flowers, woven vines, and just a sense of peace permeating the area. The only living thing you see is what looks to be a man, wrapped head to toe in rags. You don't see eyes, but you do see these like dancing purple orbs of light around where his face would be from beneath the darkness of the rags, and trappings of what once were clothes, you think, as they're mangled, rotten, and not kept up. tending to the water.
Can I roll Monsters of the Waters to see if this guy's even, to see if I have an idea what this guy is?
Yeah, go for it.
Ooh, 210.
Okay. So, instead of giving you anything about a man, it gives you an entry on a primordial entity of wilderness. Basically, it doesn't have a direct translation. Some of this isn't even language.
I'm not reading this from the compliant key, by the way. This is just the skill Dredger has.
Oh God, I
Yeah.
thought you were okay.
Ironically, it sounds a lot like Omega talking. I'm gonna grab a soda. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
So, as you look at this thing, you have a bit of an out of body experience, and you see an entity of Wood's eyes in decay. Decay leading to rebirth behind this man in much the same way. And realize he is a herald or avatar or incarnation of this thing as much as Avery was of the Lord of the Drowning Folk.
All right.
The one difference is whereas the Lord of the Drowning Folk has a much more direct control, this man just seems to be in tune with whatever this thing is. It doesn't have control of him if he's even aware this thing is here at all.
Does Dredger get the sense that the Lord of the Drowning Folk knew this being?
He may have heard stories of this being. This thing is much older than he was.
Okay. For reference, I don't think I've said this. The Lord of the Drowning Folk is I have been working on this subject is about 6,000 years old.
Much older than.
All right.
Enough to be myth by his time.
Okay. I mean, I know what I would do in this situation. I'm going to wait for Alex to get back before making any moves.
Okay, I've returned. Sorry.
All right. This being and standing in front of us seems to be a avatar for a much, much more powerful entity.
Not
Just
more
like,
powerful, just older.
I mean, a more powerful entity than the guy we see in front of us. It is a similar situation to what Dredger has going on. I would vote to just talk to the fellow. Unless you have a different plan.
Alan's here to protect you. So if you say any of that to him, he just goes, "Well, you're the boss. I don't see anything trying to kill us yet, which is rare."
All right. Dredger will walk up and say, hello, Ancient One.
He kind of looks up confused at that and goes, "Son, I ain't that old."
We apologize. We have some confusion about what you might be. We recognize something like ourself in you, and we're not certain exactly who or what we were talking to.
The name's the Ragman. Name's Ragman. Only name I have these days. You from Shrimptown?
We were from the hub. We now hail from deeper in the flooded district.
Alan also chimes in and just says, "I'm pretty much from anywhere. Still kind of a vagrant."
There's the sound of a shit ton of slapping on the surface of the water as Hidden Sorrows tries to find any purchase with his stapler and fails miserably.
He looks at you two and goes, You're not in a place people should be. Not yet. It's not amicable quite yet.
We had noticed. The way here seemed quite well guarded.
Not well guarded, just not suit. It's not so much guarded, it's just outright hostile. Look, you should turn back the way you came. I can get you out of here, just anything deeper is going to be dangerous for you folks.
We feel that we would be fine moving deeper given our personal strengths. We would ask if we would not be forward, may we ask who your sponsor is and what you are doing here?
I got no sponsor.
We mean that, do you see what our nature is?
I see two yokels on a tourist trip. No offense.
None taken. I don't even know what that word means.
Kind of proving my point, but I appreciate you, son.
We see you standing here as if you are the avatar of something greater than yourself. This is also what we are, though we have a somewhat different grip on what our own free will might mean.
He seems to stop at that, looks at you and goes, "Do me a favor then. Touch the water."
Treasure will think about that, and he will lean forward and touch the water.
You feel a sizzling burn jolt up your arm into your bones as you see an inky darkness ripple out from your fingers touching the blue water. As you pull them back, for a second you just see the hand as it was Avery's before your influence kind of jolts back. The ragman is now standing, and he is walking on the water, no ripples. Kind of in a ready position. He just goes, "You should leave now."
Gallant walks over and touches the water.
The overkin screams and peels back from your fingers.
Sorry, buddy. I was expecting a different answer. Okay, friend, and he pets his hand.
Hidden sorrows will touch the water.
The water doesn't even ripple. It doesn't acknowledge his presence.
Oh.
It ain't that strong, brother. He cries for about 3 hours.
Poor Jonathan. Oh man. So do I see any do we notice anything more about the Ragman?
He's definitely an incredibly supernatural being, but he seems grounded. He seems like he's still got his sanity and his humanity because he just thinks he's a guy from Shrimptown.
All right. Treasure will ask, before we leave, may we see what happens when you touch the water?
He leans down, touches the water, just scoops up a handful of it, lets it flow through his fingers. Nothing happens.
Do I notice anything deeper with my permanent perception?
Um, the water glows a little bit brighter, and you draw the connection of decay for the purposes of rebirth. This thing is a wilderness element. So basically, there's nothing left to break down for this guy. He's at the lowest, like he's at his lowest energy state.
Huh. Seeing that, Dredger will sort of sputter and ask, What have you done to be able to be this way?"
I just learned how to survive. Spend some time in the woods. You might like it. With percept, like, roll empathy for me real fast.
Okay.
Wait, is that a skill?
Yeah,
Yeah.
empathy.
Alpha does not have that skill.
Yeah, no, because he took the psychopath trait, which means he doesn't make trauma checks for inflicting horrible shit on other people, but he can never roll empathy.
Oh, Dredger's rolling good tonight. 510.
Okay, so you realize that this man is basically. It's not so much that he has a nature and patron that make him well suited to this place, and two, maybe the lagoon is somewhat sentient and recognizes the fact that he's acting as a guardian, or that's just part of the natural rules of this area. If you want control of the lagoon, he needs to go. You need to depose him.
Huh. Well, as he's already at his lowest entropy state, that is quite a difficult thing for me to figure.
I will say, just killing him works if you want to go that route. If you think you can figure that out.
What do you want to do here, Alex?
Your connection to the Lord of the Drowning Folk will allow you to directly subsume control of this area, if needed.
I don't know. Honestly, like Gallant again, he's here to like just make sure you don't die. So like if you or him starts fighting, he'll get involved. But like, I'm not even sure where to start on killing him. We can't touch the water. He's on the water.
Tell you what, you have the compliant key still, right?
Yes.
This is a supernatural anomaly.
All right. Dredger will ask the ragman. Now, before we leave, might we, as tourists, simply take a moment to observe what is happening here?
He stops, mulls that over, and goes, "Well, as tourists, I guess it's your right."
Dredger will take out the compliant key and beseech the key to learn more about the proper phrase here. What's going? What's the specific name of the location we're at? The lagoon?
Yeah, but you can just ask, like, about the waters here, if you're asking about something specific.
I don't know, just getting general information about the lagoon seems pretty good.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll, and it gets 3 10s.
Okay, so that's gonna hyper focus past like the woods and stuff, and you see a picture of the area you're in, like an illumination medieval style, on the waters of creation. They're considered a primordial remnant left from right after reality was sculpted by the creator deity. Not from conventional Earth reality. This is from a far more fantastical place that kind of slipped in. Um, these are waters of just primordial creation and life.
Okay.
It's noted that they're very easily swayed towards whatever means. So whatever the ragman, like the fact that the ragman isn't hurt, the fact that the ragman isn't hurt doesn't necessarily mean that that's the natural state of the waters of creation. Just that he has the most influence over them at the moment. There are several rites you can do to both sway and claim the waters.
All right.
Based on what you know, you could pretty much overwrite his claim by just placing dredger tokens and debasing the water in some way. Or dredger totems, my bad.
Okay. Would this consume the totem?
Possibly. You definitely have to keep it here for a long while anyway.
Okay. I got 11 of them, so it's not a bad. And this area is damp enough that I don't necessarily need it at the moment.
Yeah, it's complete. Area is absolutely like peak for you.
Okay. Um. Hmm. How big is this pool of highly bioluminescent water?
Uh, Several Olympic swimming pools, pretty big.
Okay. Can I move to lower the statue without the ragman noticing?
That would be a stealth check. If Gallant would like, he could make like a lie perform. He could make a check in order to distract the ragman, which would make your stealth check easier.
uh, so, Mr. Ragman,
Yeah.
that was your name, right, feller?
Yeah, I don't believe I got yours. Is it?
Oh, golly me, I'm sorry. How rude. My name, right now I go by Gallant, but my friends call me Kevin Totter, and I like stick my hand out for a handshake.
He reaches out hesitantly, takes your hand gently. As you squeeze, you notice there's no resistance behind the rags. He doesn't have a body under there. You feel like some air pressure almost, but as you grip his hand, it's like a squish. It's like a squeeze toy. It just collapses.
You're a very soft man. Anyway, I guess what I'm mostly confused about is just why are you out here per se?
And just make the area a little bit more habitable for people. Some of this old growth, it's just dead wood standing for its own sake. Someone's got to clear it out.
Hmm.
Makes it. There's a lot of wildlife that doesn't have a place to go anymore. Someone's got to make a sanctuary for it.
Well, ironically, we are also kind of doing that, I think.
Okay, if you're gonna go this route for distraction, that's gonna be a persuasion check. I don't know if you're physically capable of making that.
Persuasion.
That's under charm.
That is a charm. I only have 2 dice in charm. Ironically, Gallant's really good at empathy.
All right, tell you what. Gain 1 bonus dice because you seem to genuinely be agreeing with this man's motives and goals.
Cool. I will attempt to roll my 3 dice to convince this man that
I believe in you.
or like, I firmly believe it, but like, see if he actually like thinks that I know what I'm talking about.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because Gallant thinks we are kind of helping wildlife. Not the stuff that tries to kill us, obviously, but there's other wildlife we adopt.
Roll persuasion to not be a poser.
I don't want to be a fogey, dude. No, I did not. I got a 7, a 4, and a 1.
All right, that's gonna make the stealth check incredibly difficult for you, Tom.
Oh, sorry, Tom.
Okay. Let me see what I can get. Uh, 4 10s with subtle.
With subtle?
Yeah, I had points, so I put subtle on his coordination and body.
Okay, that's very important because while he's not actively rolling perception right now, he has 6 hard dice of endless perception. So I'm going to split 2 up for noticing your subtle, but that only leaves him 4 passive, which Defender beats if it meets. So you managed to get the Dredger Totem set up without him noticing.
Okay.
You notice that he's gonna notice in a minute as the water begins bubbling and hissing a little bit. You see the light changing color subtly, rippling out from the totem. It's
All
still
right.
subtle, but it's gonna build up to be noticeable in like less than a minute, far less than a minute.
All right. Treasure will make a very small gesture behind his back. And wherever he's standing, Hidden Sorrows will interpret that as he will.
Did I cut out again?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, sorry. I thought it cut out because you said You said like Hidden Sorrows will interpret that as he will,
and
and
that
then it
entire
cut out.
time. I think that might have been Discord.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damnable Friday.
Okay, so what's Insar's up to?
Hidden Sorrows is getting into position for combat if it should start.
So, the Ragman is still on, like, okay, this guy's a poser, but, they haven't done anything outwardly hostile. He doesn't trust Dredger, but he thinks Gallant's just a misguided kid at this point. So
Okay.
he's gonna look at Gallant and go, You ever been out in nature before, son? You ever go hiking? Do like a wildlife course?
Oh yeah, I go hiking all the time. I used to be out in the wilderness like all the time before all this stuff happened and the robot invasion began. I was a pretty well-known Renaissance fair actor.
Okay. Well, you know how when you go on a hike, right?
There's a lot of pain in that, okay?
I know. He's gonna nod and go. The woods are important. If we know there are bears in the wood, we don't wipe out the bears, right? Because that's their home. So, because I seem to get the impression that you think of it more of like you seem to think of it more as like a zoo. I'm getting the impression of.
You like
where the animals are
grabbed
there
his
to not
chin?
be a danger to you. They're safely separate. No, when I say like sanctuary, it's like This isn't our home any more than it is theirs. We are all displaced. And
No, yeah, I know what you're saying. We just let in a whole pack of wolves.
he's gonna stop that. Roll persuasion again for me.
Is it? Do I have to make a roll if technically that is the truth?
No. This is influencing disposition. Gain a bonus dice as well, so you're rolling 3.
Genius, I am. I gotta get my dice. Hang on. Come on, baby. Give me one match. I know it's only like 30% odds or something real low, but come on. Nope. 1, 6, and 10.
He's gonna look at you and go. When you say brought in wolves, do you mean like into your home?
Well, yeah. Where else would I bring them?
Anywhere.
Kind of like our home, though, because, like, technically, the home was, like, an abandoned, like, facility, and then we, like, moved in, but then the wolves also wanted to be there, and we were like, sure, why not? Wolves don't harm people, ever.
Okay, I need to make
And some
sure
of them are learning how to play Jenga, which is incredible.
Okay. And I feel like this needs to be stated first. Please don't bring wild animals into your home. It isn't like taking in a stray puppy. They are wild animals. I need to know. You understand what my meaning here. I need you to tell me why.
The armor just gets like the mask or the helmet of the armor just forms like a toothy grin. Like a creepy, like horror themed esque smile just forms across the mask's face because he's not like Galen isn't responding, so the armor is just trying to like portray his face to the thing.
I feel like if you drop that there is a wolf man, that like changes the calculus of the situation, right?
Probably.
So the armor,
but Galen's probably also not smart enough to figure that out.
The armor
Reasonable.
is genuinely trying to portray a smile, right?
Yes, genuinely. It just looks a bit creepy because the armor itself is by nature creepy.
That's fair. Okay. He's from Shrimptown. He's used to that. That's actually not like I think he would take that at face value as a smile. He's gonna go, okay. We're gonna think that we're gonna work through this together, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you have questions, or if you need more information, I'm right here. I need you to tell me why it may be a bad idea to bring a wild animal into your home.
He's like starts tapping his temple. Well, maybe because they might eat all of our food.
Okay, let's unpack some words there. You know, food may not mean the same thing to an animal as it does a person, right?
But they eat meat.
Okay. What is a
And
person
I eat
made out
meat.
of?
People.
Hold on, I'm rolling civility. This is gonna be a 4 penalty dice. The Ragman is gonna like gently, but his hand shaking, place a hand on your shoulder and go, Please don't keep wild animals in your home. Please leave.
I don't make the rules, so that's not really my call. Plus, they seem really comfy in there.
Okay,
So it'd be
that's
pretty
gonna
mean
give.
at this
So
point.
this is giving Tom a full round to act. Tom,
This
what's
his brain just melts from talking to Gallant for more than 5 minutes consecutively.
So Tom, what's Dredger doing with all this free time he's just been given as a gift?
Well, he put the totem into the pool, and as he's been listening to this conversation, he has been thinking that what the Ragman wants isn't all that dissimilar to what he wants. He still wants the area to be a sanctuary, just also allow some more dangerous wildlife in too. What is the next part of the ritual that Dredger needs to do?
So basically, you need to spread more corruption. You need to have more dominion. So you're gonna need a few more Dredger totems in there. One's not gonna be enough.
I only actually carry the one with me. The other ones are at the power plant. They're not necessarily small.
Okay. We have a resource that we can burn. I was planning on using it for other things, but you notice in some of the like on one of the branches above you guys, it actually is tied to one of the trees that dug its root into the waterlogged blood pool. You notice some black veins of ichor going along the branch. Waterlogged ichor could probably act as a source of corruption.
I would also like to ask about the seaweed that grows in Dredger's hair.
That would diminish you to use, but you could use it.
Dredger will pluck a bit of seaweed from his hair and put that into the water.
All right. This one is not subtle at all. But, so, it's good you have time, because otherwise you would have had to be protected while you did this.
May I ask why that isn't subtle?
I will explain as I describe what happens when you put the
okay.
piece of you into the water. First things first, I need to ask. You feel a direct connection to the pool. Light cascading out of the area, bubbling black liquid. The light changing rapidly. I have to ask, this is going to incur a cost to you. How much willpower do you want to spend?
Did I regenerate all my willpower at that
Yes,
sleep?
You had a full day of rest in a very damp area. You are up to your base will.
All right, plus a little bit because I've gained some. I'm going to spend 5 willpower.
Okay. With your body almost locked just due to the energy feedback loop going on here, the opposition you're facing, you actually see the influence. It feels like almost in a permanent fashion slowly working its way up your arm. Before
Now,
the block of seaweed dissolves. You manage to wrench your arm back out, but you notice that the hold of the Ragman has broken temporarily, and the totem's influence is beginning to spread a lot farther and a lot faster.
Okay. For reference, the only difference that should be making is the water should be now brackish.
All right. The water is now significantly more brackish. That's the only difference?
That is basically the only difference. Yeah, like
That's fine. That's mostly an aesthetic thing. This is like a symbolic burning of the self to test influence.
Not also again, Dredger will really not want to change much about this area. Just like work on cleaning it up and let it be a place for both natural wildlife as well as phenomenally supernatural wildlife.
I will say at any point, you can use your influence over the waterlogged to basically call upon the ichor in the tree. That will corrupt the water slightly, but it will greatly accelerate the takeover.
Right, what does corrupting it end up doing? That seems bad.
It'll reduce the list of creatures you can spawn from it a little bit. it'll only be like the hostile predator ones versus like this one will expand. Like normally the lagoon would expand the list of creatures you can summon a little bit. You're not losing a lot. It's like you lose out on some shrimp varieties and like a few other creatures.
That doesn't seem good. I will try to not do that and continue on with this incredible, gallant scene. If Alex, you would not mind.
No, yeah, that's fine. I'm having fun.
I need you to know that you drop and just people. That killed me. That was incredible.
So the Ragman is still stunned a little bit from that, but he definitely notices as the ritual completes, and he notices that the waters of creation are becoming more brackish and definitely shifting in a way he doesn't like, for lack of a better term. He is going to take a step away from Gallant, and he's going to make eye contact with Dredger. He's going to say, if it's going to go this way, if this is a contest of wills, you seem to have me outnumbered. Would you mind if what's the expression? Phoned a friend?
This is amenable. I would say, however, we would say, however, that our end goals are very, very similar to yours. Just we would open this place perhaps to some more dangerous creatures than you might, along with all the others.
It's not my place to tip the food chain. But if your words have weight, you see him like almost like a Rolodex shifting through his rags. One has like an inky splot of several green dots upon, like on a looks like a wreath of snakes. He flips over one more. You see what looks to be like a burning cat eye suspended in a ball of darkness. He decides against that one and grabs a final one, which is a talisman of purple and green, almost. You see him mutter, "I call upon you, Warden of the End. First of your name, last of your house." He crushes it, and then it like spurts out energy like way faster than intended. It's like someone having an M80 go off on their hand. He kind of jumps back a little bit. He goes, I didn't finish. And you hear from behind you guys familiar to Dredger at least, go, it's not really self-aggrandizing when someone else does it. And really, as a man in a purple suit flips over a straight razor going, and really, that's just no fun.
Holy fuck. Alright, Sam, can you take a moment to explain who Johnny Switchblade is?
I'm going to let his actions speak for him.
Okay, wait, he called him last of his house, harbinger of the end.
First of his name.
Okay, let me just put that down. Johnny Switchblade is, according to the Ragman, last of his house, first of his name, harbinger of the end.
He's going to put up his hands as he looks down and goes, Avery! Buddy!
I have no idea.
He sidles up and goes, "It's been a minute. How's the blood feud going? All right, it's with me." He stops, looks at Gallant, and went, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry things didn't pan out with the puppet. But okay, I know the rebound is hard, but you can't replace him with another Nightman. That's too similar."
Wait, Johnny sees Galen as a knight too?
Yeah.
That's
What?
perfect. Yes.
Like,
Alan is going to respond to that by going, thank you for like pointing out the fact I worked so hard on this design for the armor, and nobody has ever commented on it before, and it's really been upsetting me. So thank you for noticing.
hey, no worries, man. He goes over, reaches out a hand, like doing like someone would for like doing like a slap high five handshake.
Okay, Alan will accept and go for it.
It gets really complicated. He brings you into a half hug, goes, "Stay strong, man."
Well, that's why I work out.
Dredger will give you it as an explanation. Your armor is quite impressive. It's just very difficult for the average person to see the Arthurian glory of it. Really understand it.
Johnny's gonna step back. Go, see, this is what I'm talking about. Communication between partners. He's gonna look back at you aghast and mouth, "Oh my God, you went for looks. Never go for looks."
Dredger will be quite taken aback and say, "Perhaps you don't know what's happened to us."
Well, you sold your soul to an extra-dimensional deity, and are now working on behalf of Mammon Grey to basically bring the downfall of the privateers. Am I getting anything wrong here?
There was never a sale.
I would disagree.
Avery was always owned by us.
See, that sounds like contract law, and I've never been quite good at that. Well, I've been good at breaking them. But that whole predestination shit never quite sat right with me, honestly.
Avery has never had his own body. It was always ours. We have always been here waiting for Avery to make a mistake.
See, to me that sounds like a lot of... Back in Blackstone, they had this thing called inherited debt, where, the debts of the father was passed on to the son, and they'd spend their entire life never paying it off until it went down another generation. When people told me that I had, so much to pay off, do you know what my response was?
Dredger doesn't react at all.
Okay, don't want to play along? That's fine. I'm not hurt. I'm very hurt. You devastate me.
I'm very hurt.
I didn't go, "I guess I'm owned by the system." No. I threw a Molotov into their office and watched them burn. Because that's what happens when you shackle a person. We make our own paths, we make our own choices, and I've told Avery as much. If he wanted to break you, I'm certain he could have, and quite frankly, it pisses me off that he didn't.
We might argue for his benefit, though we don't often want to, that Avery was never shackled, that no man in his entire line was ever shackled. Simply, his entire lineage comprises our body.
Buddy, I am not high enough to deal with this. So how about this? We just ask him ourselves, right?
Dredger looks really, really wary when you say that.
No, it's really easy. Come here. Come on over.
Dredger does not come on over.
Alan's gonna look at Dredger and be like,
He looks over at you.
so are you guys friends, or is
Johnny claps his
I'm
hands.
getting
We have a blood feud!
I don't understand that
Okay.
word. I know what blood means. And I know Family Feud was a funny show,
There it is. There it is.
but I never knew what that meant.
Johnny just slowly does a look over at Avery, going, like, you can't. He doesn't mouth anything, but just in your head you flash back to, oh my god, you went for looks.
Damn.
He's gonna turn to Gallant and go, okay, buddy. So there's a friend inside of your friend who we want to talk to, and I need him to come into the water real fast. I'm just gonna dunk him. We're gonna get the other friend. We're gonna have a nice conversation. Yeah?
You're gonna try to baptize him so he can talk to Jesus?
If I agree, will you get him to come over here?
Gallant might not be smart enough to say no to that.
If somebody asked me that, I wouldn't say no either, just to see what was about to happen.
I think the answer to that is just yes.
As Johnny approaches,
Johnny's not approaching quite yet. His arms are out as if bring it in for a hug.
okay, I would like. Hidden Sorrows has grossly misinterpreted, or perhaps perfectly interpreted, what's happened here. I'd like Hidden Sorrows to roll the Dingshuji Jando Yishu against Johnny.
Okay. Johnny's gonna roll to dodge. As unfortunately, he only rolls one dice for anything, so he fails.
Okay.
As we all know, Johnny only ever rolls one dice for anything. Please roll the same.
Yeah. Hidden Sorrows gets 5 10s.
Wait,
It
I'm
has-
confused. Why does he only roll one dice for everything?
'Cause he only has
Johnny
one dice.
is a mechanical nightmare. His power is that given enough time.
Don't spoil.
Okay. Johnny is fucking buck wild. That's all you really need to know. John, I love Johnny. He's such a funny character, such a piece of shit, has such a weirdly complicated power. Like one I don't even know how it can be built, but
He's like the 5th most expensive character for a reason, and it's not because he's strong.
he costs like 20,000 points to do something because it can't happen any other way. It's so needlessly complicated. Okay, so that is 5d10. So, it is 7 damage to each hit location.
Killing or shot
With-
killing?
If it is an operational, if it has an operational skill, which it does.
It would be the weapon then. So I'm gonna say staplers deal killing.
Okay, it also has burning.
Okay.
Which I love that a stapler can kill somebody in this game.
Anything can kill someone if you hit them with it hard enough.
Fortunately, Johnny is immune to the panic effects of burning. He is still going to take the damage.
All right.
The staples just eviscerate Johnny's body. You see chunks of him get rent out. He is bleeding into the pool. He goes, oh God, I'm losing fluids. Oh God, and he takes a mouthful of the water and just gulps it. The ragman goes, no, don't!
Oh no. Start slurping it, gotta replace those fluids.
If we have to fight Johnny for control of the lagoon, that would be incredible.
The ragman goes up and drop kicks Johnny. The ragman gets up and goes, "Why are you always like this? Can you not be cool? Just once!"
Dredger will say, "We don't even know why you chose to summon him of all people."
Because he made me promise that the next time you showed up, specifically, I would summon you. I didn't know what that meant until I fucking touched the token.
Dredger just shrugs and will rip off another piece of seaweed and throw it into the water.
Nyah!
I'll spend another 5 willpower.
The water rumbles and boils. You have massively accelerated how fast you're taking control, but you're noticing that the areas where Johnny's blood touched down are now glowing purple.
Fuck. How's Johnny looking right now?
He is completely healed up after slurping the water. He doesn't
It's
look good though. Like there's a bioluminescence to him. You can kind of see his veins a little bit. He is glowing in the eyes. He goes, "Oh, that was real toxic. Oh, that was like advanced toxic. Okay."
Hey, can I quote that to scare the people who are currently not in
Yeah, go
Evil
for
Squad?
it. All right. Johnny is going to roll athletics to get up from prone. And as we know, Johnny rolls 3 dice for everything. So, as they are all wiggle dice, he gets back to his feet effortlessly.
Oh, I see. I understand now what the power is doing. As we all know, he rolls 3 dice for everything. 20 minutes later, and as we all know, he rolls 10 dice for everything.
Yeah, he's horrifying. It's beautiful.
And as he has endless on everything, he no longer needs to make athletics checks.
Seeing him get up, even though he's glowing, Dredger will say, "We are honestly quite impressed at how well you put yourself back together. When last we saw you, you were a corpse in a shroud."
Yeah, one of me was. Not that easy to get rid of, bud.
We are aware of this, yet don't really have an idea where your mind ends or begins.
The ragman just kind of chimes in. He doesn't have a fucking mind anymore.
Dredger will take a moment to ask, why were you so against what we've done to our body and our lineage, when you yourself do the same thing to all versions of yourself?"
You're asking that to Johnny, right?
Yes.
Oh, it's simple, buddy. Self-destruction is the only real sin. And you just hear the fucking hangman sigh and mutter under his breath, "You fucking asked about philosophy, god fucking damn it." The real truth of the matter is, I don't care that much. I was just looking for an in to get talking to Avery, because technically speaking, me and him have unfinished business. See, I don't like to be disregarded, and I certainly can't stand being ignored. Since you're here, that means you did both.
Wait, who was talking?
That was Johnny. To
Gallant raises his hand like he's waiting for his turn to answer a question.
Knight Errant.
My name's Gallant.
That's not as cool, but I'll respect it.
Also, what did you mean by that thing you just said?
Which part?
The part where we weren't, well, I guess Dredger wasn't supposed to be here.
Okay, so your friend Dredger used to be a guy named Avery. And instead of you, he had a little puppet that was also a knight. And he
I
made
don't
several
think we're allowed to
horrific
talk about-
mistakes.
I don't think you're allowed to talk about people's schizophrenia like that.
You know, thank you for going that route. The last time I explained this to someone, they said it was wrong to dead name people, and I really had to explain how they grossly misinterpreted what was going on here.
Thank you for going for that one and not the one that Seth said in real life to hurt me. Though I don't like, if you went for the one that Seth said to hurt me, that would imply that Johnny knows what fate is, and I don't think I could handle that.
Unfortunately, Johnny hasn't gotten enough dice in mind yet to unlock fate knowledge. We're getting there, though.
Oh, wait, no. Is that a thing you just get in the city when you hit 7 mind?
We'll find out together. We enter the next round. Johnny is going to kick some of the waters of creation at Dredger.
Dredger will roll to dodge.
Awesome. It's 3 wide because he's rolling 3 dice.
Dodge is coordination?
Yes.
Okay. 310.
All right. Meets it, beats it. You dodge out of the water just fine. Johnny is full on sprinting at you. Gallant, you're massively faster and stronger than this guy. You can tell just by looking at him.
I'm just so lost, like out of character and in character about like what is exactly going on here. But if he's like actively trying to, like, is he like trying to tackle him? Does it look like he's
trying
going
to get him
like,
under the water like he said he would.
I'm just gonna like get in front of him and like grab him by the shoulders and just be like, Johnny, we can do this civilly, can't we? There's no need for violence.
It's not violence. I'm just splashing a little bit of water. Kids do this at the pool. It's fine.
Can you explain to me why he needs to get baptized?
Okay, so we have this thing called an immortal soul, right? And then Johnny just starts talking about televangelism.
None of that makes sense to
Okay, when he doesn't get a laugh, he's just gonna go, look, I just want to talk to the old version of your friend. And to do that, I just need to splash some water on him, but he's being a bit feisty. That's all.
But why do you have to talk to the old version of him?
So, in short, I need to hear the exact words out of Avery's mouth that this is what he wants. And if he says that, then I'm gonna beat the shit out of him.
Gallon is like doing mental gymnastics right now. And
I want you to know I'm imagining a Bug Man action figure doing backflips.
yeah, just look at Dredger and just be like, I don't understand anything that's happened in the last like 30-ish seconds. Do you want me to like remove this guy or what?
We are unsure if you even can remove him, to be perfectly honest. In fact, he did say earlier that it's just children playing in the water. And so, and then Avery or Dredger will roll to splash Johnny by rolling his brawling that knocks all the water out of someone's body.
Alright, go for it.
All right. Fuck. That is 5 10s. non-physical 3 attack levels
Okay.
in golf.
So you do a splash, and you see the water just rip out of Johnny's body. You see him like wither, holes forming in his skin as his skin, like his body doesn't have enough water to keep itself together. Looks like a deflating bag as his skin hangs limp over bones that crack from lack of structural integrity. You see Johnny go limp in Gallon's hold. You also notice that the glow leaves when you do that. And you notice that his veins look burnt out. His eyes have some scorch marks around them. He's clinging to Gallant for, like, dear life, going, "See? It's fine. Everything's good." Still alive somehow. Horrifically injured. Like, we're not understanding this. He is on death's door.
Avery, or shit, Dredger will say, "We believe him to be actually truly immortal."
Johnny's gonna go, "Oh, God, no. Oh, no, 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 no. I die very easy. This is taking tremendous amounts of effort on my part."
We know how you work. You are as close to immortal as anything we've ever seen.
In the strategic sense, I do not have the time to explain this. Hold on. And in a process that's I'm going to try and explain, you see Johnny putting himself back together. Like, you see him plumping back up a little bit, wounds closing back together. But as it does, he looks more and more frail in, like, a permanent sense. In game sense, he has sacrificed maximum health to heal himself.
Oh, what? Give up hitboxes for heal?
Yeah, he's an Urban Decay talent.
Is that a thing that Urban Decay talents get?
Yeah, some of them.
Brutal.
And that's him. And then that's going to be Ragman going, "Well, that's my part of the deal sealed." He's going to take a piece of cloth and begin taking out some purple dye and just begin smearing Johnny's rune back on the rag, going, "I need you guys to buy me a few rounds."
Wait. What does he mean? Is a round a known unit in the city?
Like rounds of a fight. Like boxing rounds is how he meant it.
Okay.
Good catch. Nice BS.
Advanced pivot tech. The Ragman is going to try and help. He's going to burn some of his critter points, because that was a mechanic he has. He's going to summon a hippopotamus. Gallant, from your perspective, the waters bubble a little bit, and you see a massive blubbery creature. Does he know what a hippopotamus is?
Yeah, he's been to the zoo.
Okay, good. I wasn't off there. And it's going to just bite on Johnny and drag him beneath the water.
Gallant, like, as it bites him, it goes to drag him away, and he doesn't move, and Gallant's just like, oh. So there's, like, a brief moment where, like, Gallant realizes he has to let go, or this guy's gonna get ripped in half, and then he lets go.
Do you want to hold on and try and rip him in half? You can do that. Like, that's totally an option.
No, he's still not sure what's going on, so he's just gonna, like, out of reflex, because he's not sure if he's supposed to be, like, taking this weirdo out. He's just gonna let go, because he's like, I'm not 100% sure if we're supposed to kill you. Bye-bye.
Well, it's quite so... As he gets dragged beneath the water, his ribs...
Just blurble.
His ribs and spine just snapping. The Ragman is digging in some runes, going, "Alright, I'm gonna try and rebind him. God, why do I make deals with him? Should have just summoned the Leviathan. I'm gonna need about a minute to for this to dry. Can you guys keep him contained until then?
Dredger will listlessly nod as he rips off another piece of seaweed and throws it into the water.
Can you stop that?
This time spending 3 willpower.
It's not helping. He's gonna just never mind. Just explain to your friend what's going on.
Dredger will turn and say, "We are trying to gain control of this pool as this man is trying to keep Johnny Switchblade away from this pool."
Alex, what's a...
That made almost no sense. Gallant's just like staring at you, and as he says that, and just goes, "So am I? I'm just gonna mess with the guy that went in the water."
All right. Dredger will take a different tack and say, "Now, you were talking about conservation earlier, Gallant.
Mm-hmm.
You saw how when Mr. Switchblade fell in the water, it started turning purple.
Mm-hmm.
We need to stop him from doing what we all would." Wait, shit! No, this would be this is really funny, but it would be a lie. God damn it! Fuck. Okay. No, it's Dredger will leave it at that. What I was gonna say, if Dredger were allowed to lie, he would absolutely tell Gallant that what's happening here is we got to stop. We have to stop. We have to stop Johnny from leaking purple shit into the water because, well, he's not really succeeding. He bought the wrong kind of dye. He can't pollute this place with a gender reveal like that.
You're gonna confuse Gallant more, Tom. We're trying to get him up to speed. We're trying to help here, Tom.
We're trying to help.
All right, so Dredger will ask, Gallant, this pool is very magical. We are doing magic to fix it, and Johnny Switchblade's magic is breaking the magic that would fix it.
So what do you want me to do, boss?
For the moment, simply keep Johnny down and allow the ragman to reseal him.
Roger. I will drown the purple one.
Okay. That's going to be treated as 4 rounds, so the rune's going to be a lot closer to being finished. From that point, though, you see Johnny just kind of reach his hand out and slam it onto the surface of the water as if it was solid and just wrench himself up. Like 3 hippos trying to gnaw on him.
Fuck.
He's gonna go, okay, this is really starting to piss me off. And he is going to... It looks like he's about to, do something violent, and then he's just going to gently open the hippo's mouth and step out and go... You just lightly tap it on the nose, go, bad, down. And it's just going to sink beneath the waves.
That is the scariest thing Johnny has ever done. That is the scariest thing Johnny has ever done. I am posting into general that he can do that.
And the hippos recede as Johnny makes an endless intimidation check. Johnny has reached 10 dice in his pools, and he's going to start adding extras when he can now.
Oh.
Love his...
What do you say?
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
A
Yes.
little bit now, yeah.
Sorry, I said in all of his pools, but like confused and scared.
All right. Johnny is now seemingly able to walk on the surface of the water like the Ragman was. He's going to stop for a second. He's going to take off his oversized purple suit jacket, throw it into the water where it catches fire, going, all right. So just so I'm not in the wrong, this is a fight?
Dredger will smile and nod.
Cool. Got it. And he's just going to sprint significantly faster. Gallant, if you want to stop him, that's going to be a brawling check to grapple him, or you can try and kill him.
Just a quick head spin back to Dredger. Are we killing him now? I'm so confused. I thought I was just supposed to slow him down.
The situation with this one changes quite frequently. Only we
Okay.
fight him now.
Got it. I'm going to start by taking off his left leg.
All right. Let me know what you get, how fast it is.
Wait. It is. I'm gonna do +1 attack. Can I do 2 different maneuvers? So I could do add an attack level, add a go first.
Yeah, as long as you're not using spray.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna add an attack level and add a go first, and it's gonna be 10 10s, or sorry, 10 what the hell, 10 1s.
All right.
It's gonna do 19 damage at 16 speed, pen 5, disintegrate 2.
Has disintegrate?
Holy
Okay.
fuck.
You destroy his leg. The mass being subsumed into the spear instantly as Johnny does a somersault. He has endless athletics, so he can do acrobatic shit all day from his earlier roll. He already initiated that.
Mm-hmm.
He does the roll, springs forward, and he goes to punch Dredger in the face, sailing right through as the defense takes effect. As he skids to a halt, perfectly balanced on one leg, going, okay, so you've got some new tech, and that is my leg. That is my entire goddamn leg. Okay.
Does he see the golden spear that Gallant sees,
Yeah.
or is he looking at the monster gnawing on this leg as it
both.
goes? Oh, that's beautiful.
He is doing the full Ace Ventura, both hands pointing at his legs, screaming at it. He goes to point, and you notice his straight razor is in his hand. He notices it's in his hand, and goes "Ugh!" and throws it into the water.
Confused and scared. I don't understand what's happening at all.
So Johnny Switchblade is called that because he carries a straight razor, and I hate that he's Switchblade, but it's a straight razor. The straight razor belonged to, or was given to him by the Hanged Man, and is indestructible, alive, and insanely powerful in ways that were never specifically enumerated.
Okay, so the straight razor is bad, and he just threw it in the water.
Yeah, now I'm assuming that means the
Johnny
straight razor gets
actively
it,
hates the straight razor and refuses to use it unless he has to.
but he can't get rid of it. And every time he tries, it comes back.
So,
Funny.
as he flips his hand away, he goes, "Ha! Gotcha!" Points with the other hand. It's there. He goes, "You're really gonna fucking do this right now, aren't you?" Alright, that brings us to the next round. Technically speaking, Johnny should declare last because he has the highest sense right now. I think Gallant declares first.
Probably. I only have 6 cents.
What's Dredger have?
7.
Alright, yeah. Goes Gallant, Dredger, then Johnny.
Shouldn't Soros be first?
What's... Oh, fuck, right. He's so good, even I forgot he was here.
It's the beauty of him, isn't it?
Okay, what's Saros doing?
Sorrows will Sorrows will roll his stupid ass combat art again. And he gets 6 10s this time.
Okay. You see the Staples just eviscerate Johnny. You notice even though he's
Basically every attack he has interference because no one will ever be able to see it coming.
So, you notice that the Staples are tearing into Johnny. But it looks like he has more health now in the fight than he started with, even though he's burned max health. And then you remember, Johnny, his abilities make him better than you. He just fought hippopotami.
Oh.
They have extra tough and interference on size shift. Johnny has gotten... It looks like Johnny is mimicking those powers.
Fuck.
Because he is physically capable of doing that just by being tougher.
Fuck. Having all the powers of a hippo on a human frame is terrifying.
That being said, there's another thing Johnny can be better at. That's gonna take effect this round actually, so keep going, keep declaring.
I guess Gallant is going to see that his spearing of the leg didn't work and just go for
It did work. His leg is gone. He's on one leg.
Yeah, but it
He's
didn't
getting by
slow him down, so he's gonna stab him in the chest now. He's gonna declare an attack on his chest.
Got it.
Actually, Gallant goes for the face. He's gonna declare an attack on his face. Headshots only lobbies, you know.
Yeah. Dredger will use his voice power to... Wait. No, that was Bill, wasn't it? Who saw... Yeah, that happened in the dark rooms. That was Bill. Shit. Dredger will use his... Oh, excuse me.
I like the gift. Thank you, Alex.
You're welcome.
Alright. So, well, Tom...
I'm back.
Oh, Tom's back? Alright, awesome.
Dredger will use Follow the Voice to the River to make the voice of the Hanged Man appear from somewhere behind Johnny.
What's it saying?
Do you think you'll grow to hate the person you've become?
It definitely
Like that-
causes a little bit of pause in Johnny, but as stated before, when Chris tried to whip that out a second time, he's already had that character arc. He's inoculated.
Damn it.
He's also going to activate his contingent ability called Oh God, Not the Face. And what that does is, as the attack goes for the face... Wait, how many levels will go first does it have? Your spear.
16 again.
Does that beat it?
Well, it's 6. It's 6, sorry. So it's 16 total wide, essentially.
Johnny's going to spend 8 willpower to get 8 levels to go first on this. On Oh God, Not the Face. Actually, he's just going to increase the width by 4. He only needs to do that. So you've burned a significant chunk of willpower. But what it does is he screams, "Oh God, not the face," and puts up his hand so the attack is redirected to his arm.
Okay.
His arm is completely gone, and the damage actually does manage to overflow into his chest a little bit. You hear the breaking of ribs, and a significant amount of blood just spurts out.
I also like to imagine that every time the spear like goes off, there's like a sound wave smash because it's breaking the sound barrier.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Just like a, and everybody around just like gets a little like gust of wind, and they're like, "What was that?" And then there's just chunks of people missing.
Incredible.
So as Johnny bleeds, he goes, "You really think I'm gonna just let you watch me bleed?" As he disappears.
Gallant retorts with, "I didn't see any blood, but okay."
Oh my god, he doesn't. Okay. So, Johnny is using some very hyper-developed hyper-stealth to mimic the Hidden Sorrow's ability.
Fuck.
Unfortunately, one of the contingents I put on that is literally can't see me bleed, and Gallant doesn't see blood. So, I'm gonna need a round to fix that. Gallant can see Johnny this round, but no one else can.
If Johnny has this power, does that mean he's aware that Hidden Sorrows is nearby?
Is that... Oh, God, one of the conditions is if they know the power, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
With for Hidden Sorrows, let me just check.
Because it was either if they know the Hidden Sorrows is there, it stops working, or if...
No, I got rid of that because I didn't need to.
Oh, okay.
It's more that he can communicate telepathically with anybody who knows he exists.
Okay, so since the power would mimic that without Johnny knowing, he would then become aware of the power and thus be aware that there is someone there that he had to be better than, which would mean he does know the Hidden Sorrows is there and can communicate telepathically.
So the Sorrow's like, oh my gosh, there's somebody else in there. Oh my god, I got a new friend finally.
Please never speak to me again. Please just never speak. Ever again.
Hidden Sorrows will roll to hit him with a stapler again.
Alright, he can see this round, so Johnny's just gonna do a full-on dodge.
Wait, he can see the Sorrow?
Yeah. He has telepathy.
How?
Anyone who talks to Johnny, Johnny is immediately aware of.
Oh. I don't think it ever mattered. Do you want to know what Hidden Sorrows looks like?
Yeah.
Wait, I'll deafen myself. I don't want to know.
Okay, hit it.
Okay, he is. All right, he is. He's a member of the admin. He is wearing his original suit. It's completely fucking tattered. He still has his shoes. The shirt's ripped open. You can see his gut. You can see his legs because the pants are ripping down the seams. He is wearing a shrimp shell as pauldrons. He is wearing a gazer's conical shell as a pointed hat. And his eyes, the pupils are permanently gigantic as a result of eating some bad berries when he couldn't find any palatable twigs.
Awful. I hate that. Okay, he still has the resurrect, by the way, right?
Dredger does.
Oh, didn't Stars have... Didn't we talk about a resurrect for a little bit there?
Oh, wait. Oh, my God. I never thought it would come up. Yeah, yes, he does. Fucking, you will not escape by death, Ronald.
Okay, good. I had to make sure of that one.
Okay. Yeah, he can still come back from death. Oh, wait, no, that's actually just healing factor. It's not a resurrection.
Okay. So... Yeah. So Johnny's doing a full-on dodge that stacks with the gobble dice from the hippo's size shift. Oh god, I forgot to mention Johnny is now just a solid foot taller
Oh,
from mimicking the hippo's size shift. It's mostly mass. But so Johnny's gonna get 10 gobble dice from his dodge, 2 from the size shift, and since Johnny has Urban Decay and Midnight Crew abilities, he's gonna get God, what was it? Velvet Armor? The Midnight Crew has an ability where if they dodge, they get a shit ton of light armor so long as some of their clothes are intact, and his overcoat is... Well, the overcoat's on fire, but the button-up isn't.
yeah.
Okay, so that's going to give Johnny some gobble dice and a shit ton of light armor. I'm not sure it's... He has a 7 from the Hidden Sorrows. And how much is Gallant putting at him?
Just another. He's gonna stab him in the chest this time, I guess, because he blocked his face last time. So he'll just stab him in the chest
Okay.
for 19-16 again.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
And Dredger will roll to drown him on land.
He's going to have to make a perception check first. Hidden Sorrows, baby.
Oh yeah, fuck. Shit. I have permanent perception.
Okay. You notice where Johnny is based on he can walk on the water, but he's making ripples now. It looks like he's losing control a little bit since you did the last seaweed thing.
Okay. Then drown on land. Let me just.
It's gonna be at 2 penalty dice.
All right. It is still 4 9s. Engulf non-physical 3 attack levels.
Okay. So
Though I would ask, can I get up for a few minutes?
yeah, this is gonna take a second to resolve anyway.
Okay, I'll be back.
So Johnny isn't going to dodge the Hidden Sorrows. That's going to hit because his light armor is going to help him reduce that down. He's going to put... His dodge is interference, so... He's going to try... Non-physical, he can't dodge the drown. He is going to... So... Gallant's attack goes off first. You hear Johnny literally breaking one of his legs and back to dodge it. It still hits. You still graze him, and he's going tumbling backwards as your spear kind of gets him. The damage is heavily reduced because he has interference on his dodge.
What width reduction? I can give you the math.
He
die to use.
He has to spend 9 dice because he's doing some multiple actions this round. So that's going to be 9 dice, reducing the damage.
So it'd be 9 shock and killing to his chest. Sorry.
I think so normally, just a heads up, normally having 9 dice reduce the damage would make the attack fail.
Okay.
Johnny kind of used Johnny has a shit ton of rules, and they come with downsides on everything he does. This still hits because he fucked himself with the thing he did before. Just to be clear with the rules there.
Yeah, I was confused why you took 9 off of my 10, because that would put him at 1 anyway.
Yeah,
that would have meant...
So Johnny did a thing that fucked him, so attacks it with 1 hit right now.
Nice.
So
it'll do 9
got some
damage.
benefits for that, in that he can get... His scaling power activates faster now, but he really did fuck himself with that one. And then the staples are going to hit. Some of them are just going to bounce right off, but mostly they're just diminished by the light armor. Johnny right now has 15 light armor. How much penetration do you have?
5.
Okay. So that's all going to be shock, I believe. Goes down to... You said no.
It would reduce it to 10 light armor, but then because I only did 9 damage, it would convert all of the shock to 1, and then all of the killing to
Sorry,
shock.
10 shock. My bad. Yeah, you're right. Which he still has the hippo extra tough. He did burn a few hitboxes on each hit location to heal, but he has the hippo's extra tough, so he still has some boxes. Okay. Now that's gonna lead to Avery's drown, which is gonna be a problem because he's out of damage reduction and he has non-physical on that one. So, Johnny has an Urban Decay talent that he can activate, but that's gonna. I want Tom to be here for that one.
What does it mean, Urban Decay? Oh, like he copied Urban Decay?
No, Urban Decay is a faction. They have their own gang abilities.
I thought there was a guy named Urban Decay.
There is. The faction's named after him because it's a cult of personality.
Okay.
So, like, their entire thing is about. They are here for a good time, not for a long time, which means it's a death cult. Their entire thing is about burning resources and things they have and doing shit that is horrible for themselves so that they can do what they need to do right now. So, like, they'll do drugs that have horrific downsides, but it, like, gives them some stats they need. They can sacrifice max health for a full heal, basically. Let's see here. They can... Oh, one of my favorite things they can do. They can straight up sacrifice stats for points. Or, like, for bonuses. So it's like, okay, I'm going to lower my maximum body by 1, but I'm going to have, like, go first 5 for the rest of this fight, and then never again.
That is interesting.
Yeah, so basically, if you roll up an Urban Decay character, it's just like, alright, I'm going to get, like, 3 sessions out of this guy, and then he's dead. And one of the things you can do when you make an Urban Decay talent is it's like, alright, I'm going to give him a terminal illness. He will be dead no matter what in 3 sessions, but I'm going to get like 5 points for that.
How do they recruit people?
So, the Green Meadows Pharmaceutical Complex, also known as Green Meadows the company town, did a lot of really fucked up medical experiments on the population. And it was basically, imagine the American healthcare system taken to a nightmare extreme, where if you can't pay your medical bills, they will straight up harvest your organs while you're alive, and then throw in some shitty...
Oh, so like the setting of Repo Man.
Yeah, kind of. And they'll throw in like some shitty going to break down artificial organs.
No, yeah, like, exactly like Repo Man. They literally harvest your organs and replace it with like a bag.
Yeah, and then you're going to work, and they're going to garnish your wages the rest of the time you work so you can pay that off, because you have to pay rent on the organs they put in there. And it basically started when Blake Urban, who was working for the insurance company, who ran half of Green Meadows, decided, oh, we're like way evil. Oh, we're like more evil than I thought. So, basically, he was sent to adjust all of the, like, basically he went around saying, hey, sorry, this terminal illness got from living next to our asbestos mill. That's not our fault. That's your fault for choosing to live near an asbestos mill. We're not paying anything.
Sounds like the government.
Yeah, and he didn't make that decision. He just had to deliver the news, and it's not that he made the decision, it's that the decision was made the second they heard of it. He had to go and gather evidence to justify the decision. That was his job. And basically he did that for like a couple of months, and then he just broke as a person, murdered his boss, burned down his headquarters, and started a revolution.
No, that makes sense. That's what I'd do.
So one of the things they found out, it's like it's a culture that built on like going up to people who are like, hey, do you hate your life? You're not gonna last that long anyway, right? Want to do
You
something about it?
wanna get revenge?
Yeah, basically. So basically, they got a bunch of recruits, and as they are, people in Green Meadows can subsist at that level for a while, especially when Urban Decay started raiding the like pharmaceutical depots and using his knowledge of the industry to get the shit they needed to keep people alive longer. People are going to join up with the charismatic cult leader who's actively trying to keep them alive.
Yeah, makes sense.
So what they did is when they started doing military crackdowns in Green Meadows, he's like, okay, so these organs are really shitty, but they're artificial. We can overclock them a little bit. Which started the culture of, okay, a percentage of us are going to become free radicals, and we're going to just sacrifice our lives in order to do the shit we need to do right now. So while they have an enormous population, a small percentage is like, all right, we're burning out now.
Oh,
I was getting lore while you were away.
reasonable.
I've learned that Urban Decay is the scariest faction in the game.
Yes.
I like a lot because they just don't care. So like, you have no like. There's literally nothing you could do to like.
Urban Decay is like the new boogeyman of the game. He's alarmingly powerful.
I didn't even learn about Urban Decay, the guy. I just learned about the faction. The faction is creepy. It's just a bunch of people who are like, oh, we're terminally ill. It'd be a shame if we killed ourselves faster. What?
Yeah.
And it has horrible synergy with Johnny because if he's running low on HP or stats, he just goes, hold on. And then he just goes, he fights someone stronger and tougher than him. He goes, all right, back to full potential.
Brutal.
That being said, Tom, you said that was, with 5? You should...
Yeah, with 5, 3 attack level.
Wait, pause. Can he infinitely copy your stats?
No. He can only be 1 better than you are.
Yeah, but like if he copied my stats right now, would that refresh and then I would have to drain all of his stats again?
No. Once he copies your stats, that's it. Once he burns through that, he can never copy them again.
Okay.
Now, that being said, he can just go for the second strongest person. But at the same time, a lot of his personal stuff, if he starts going with the most optimal route, he's going to start losing willpower due to his passion and loyalties because that's not what he wants to do. Like, if he starts playing optimally, he's going to just burn all his willpower and die anyway.
Yeah. He's a really, really weird character.
So, that being said, he is going to have water begin flushing his system. And, hey, did you know there's I forget the exact name, but it's a pun on self-sacrifice. It's a talent that Urban Decay talents can have where they're like, this part of me is weak. Guess I gotta lose it, as Johnny is going to rip out his own lungs.
Oh.
So that he stops drowning. He still can't breathe. But he's now no longer drowning.
Yes.
Does that fix the... I don't understand how that fixes the problem.
He stops taking continuous damage from drowning.
You just take continuous damage from suffocating. It would transition to the same problem. Like drowning, the damage type is suffocating.
So part of that is Dredger's ability triggers every round as long as that's a valid target. Since he's removed his lungs, it's not a valid target. He's just going to suffocate.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
Yeah.
Gallant is just like he watches a scene of him like opening his chest like a robot would and just removing like two like airbags essentially and just put him on the ground or like throw him to the side. And he's like, I don't. Is he like changing? I don't know what those bags are.
He's gonna throw his lungs behind them. They're going to explode. With water,
Brutal.
but still explode.
Does that make it better?
So it refreshes the suffocating cooldown. He's now just treated as holding his breath. That's what that ability does. He can also do that for his heart, brain, liver, and other organs. For different effects.
Oh.
And eyes. Urban Decays are very... It's a bad faction. It's a bad faction. Anyway. So... Johnny is going to get up, realize people are having trouble seeing him. He's going to get real mad and turn off the Hidden Sorrows ability because he didn't realize it was turned on. What is he going to do next? Okay, so all of his things have Endless, so he's going to have 12 Gobble Dice every round now. The armor ability is going to trigger. I don't think Avery knows the details of the Midnight Crew, right?
No.
Okay, so he's not going to know how to turn that off. He's going to be treated as having 12 light armor every round as well. Hardened. Or, sorry, no, not hardened. 12 of it's hardened, 3 of it's not. Which I messed up last round. We're gonna say what's consistent last round, where 5 of it isn't hardened and 10 is. I messed up on that.
Okay.
So, from there, he's gonna have to burn 2 hit boxes from every location to heal up each hit location. He's not gonna be fully healed, but it's gonna be pretty close. He's down an arm and a leg. He can't regrow it. He's going to go to talk, and the straight razor is going to just fall out of his mouth. And he realizes he doesn't have lungs, so he can't talk now, which he's pretty upset about.
Brutal.
This guy's life is just getting like I'm starting to feel bad for him.
That's the thing about Johnny.
Like, bud, are you okay, bud?
He garbles something at you, but his mouth is just full of blood. And the straight razor, as soon as it hits the water and sinks, it's just coming right back out of his mouth.
Perpetual motion.
Dallin doesn't see any of that. For the record, he sees like Care Bear-esque shenanigans going on, and he's just getting more profoundly confused. But the armor is starting to feel bad for this guy.
Okay, so Johnny's going to make a brawling check to grab the Hidden Sorrows.
Oh shit.
The Hidden Sorrows is going to be treated as a human shield.
I see a significant problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
How would the rest of the party be aware of it?
They wouldn't be. So it's going to get real confusing for everyone else.
Fuck.
I also would like to ask, how does his teleport out of danger power work?
I mean,
He still has that? I thought you took that off.
No, the Sardos can teleport up to 300,000 miles.
He auto teleports away from his own imminent death. That was the defense. So like if something would kill him, it forcefully teleports him out of the kill radius of the thing, which is why it shoots him so far away.
I actually got rid of the automatic part, I think. Let me just make sure of that.
Oh, that's what you got rid of.
Wait, he also apparently has insubstantial motion.
Okay, can he use that to escape a grapple?
I don't see why not.
Okay. How many times can he activate that per round?
Well, it's endless, so
Okay, how many sets of 2 can he make?
just one.
Okay. So, That's gonna go off at with 2, right? Because it has 2 dice.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what that means is since Johnny is rolling at with 10 for this, and it has so many levels to go first, Johnny's gonna grab him, and it's gonna last from his grab all the way till it activates it with 2.
Hmm.
Apparently there was this guy named Edmund Ruffian who is credited with
I mean, I know what the Soros would do here.
What's he gonna do?
after the Civil War committed suicide because he was
Can Johnny currently see the Soros?
Yeah. That
Can he hear him?
the telepathy is still there.
Okay. So Soros will fumble his hand into his pocket. Hold the doubloon
Oh fuck.
and just yell, I'd like to make a deal.
The darkness collapses in. You see Johnny slowly turn to look at Mammon Gray. Mammon Gray is gonna like freeze and like slowly stand up from his desk, going, "Why did you bring him here?"
Okay, actually, wait. Mammon knows about the hidden Soros, so the hidden Soros can talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
He was choking me out, and I got scared.
You need to get him out of here now. Johnny opens the switchblade, or straight razor. Just like that, his arm and leg is back, and he is just full on like lean back, shoulders swaying, on. Buddy, it's been a minute, and he is going to kick the desk into the singularity, tearing a significant chunk of the floor with it.
Uh oh. Oh, this is way above hidden Soros' pay grade.
Mammon's going to use the singularity to stop time, and he's going to vent you guys miles away. The hidden Stars wakes up alone in the middle of the bog. You don't know where Johnny went.
All right.
You guys see Johnny has disappeared from the bog. You just see a darkness envelop him as he goes, "Huh? What?"
Man, I didn't even have to make an offer to Mammon Gray that time. That's great.
Mammon's gonna be very fucking mad at you guys.
I like how he is so like Johnny is so weirdly powerful that even Mammon Gray just was like, no, I don't want to
It's a
deal with
running
that.
joke that every major faction leader fucking hates him so much.
The Ragman finishes his rune and goes, Okay, there's no way he can get in here again. Holy shit. As he just kind of like begins sinking into the water as he loses grip. He notices that as his rags start falling apart, he moves to the shore and sits down and goes, Okay, it's yours. Fine. Oh, God.
Galen is just kind of like scratching his head, just like, what? Where did he go?
We don't know. No one ever knows where he goes. Don't make a deal with him. Don't ever make a deal with him. It'll seem good in the moment, but it always pays off in the stupidest shit you've ever seen.
Hearing deal and thinking back to what happened, Dredger goes ashen for a moment, realizing that hidden Soros brought Switchblade to Mammon, and that can't be good.
You guys have a black and gold obsidian letter just up here. It just says performance review in gold leaf on it.
Gallant picks the letter up, looks at it, and goes,
don't
I
if
know
you-
one of these words.
If you open it, it's basically a write-up for bringing Johnny into the into Anna Gray's domain.
What does it say? We're getting, like, punished?
Your pay is going to be docked for a month.
Getting paid?
Gallant is one, furious, and two, has no idea what he's talking about.
It's a picture of Johnny holding a blurry outline of a person with the words "Hidden Sorrows" and a big red arrow pointing to the blur, and an arrow pointing to Johnny going, "The guy that isn't supposed to be here."
Gallant pulls out his silver doubloon and goes, I'd like to make a complaint.
You are in Mammoth's domain.
Surprised that actually worked, because he was pretty sure there was only one key phrase. He was just doing it to vent. He looks at him and he's like, wait, that's a thing?
I have a complaints department. Yes, I. Did you think we didn't have human resources?
No, I just assumed you were... I don't even know what you are. I just assumed you were like some kind of weird, shady demon thing that liked to make deals with people.
Guilty as charged. But he takes out like some half-circle spectacles, puts it up, goes, "Now I see you have a formal complaint here. Would you care to elaborate?"
My complaint is that wasn't anywhere near my fucking fault. I don't even know who the fuck this guy is, and your picture of him sucks. You can't dock my pay because some stranger did something weird. Fuck this guy is. I've never even spoken to him in my goddamn life.
Okay, so this goes from a trespassing to just poor team building. The Hidden Sorrows is a very valuable member of your team. You know he's been there with you the entire time, right?
Who the fuck is Hidden Sorrow?
He was the guy who's been doing all the hacking. He hacked the... Remember back on Captain Dumont's ship? The guns ported out. He opened several doors for you. He opened up the security cameras. He's been there the entire time. See,
Okay.
he throws out several more photos of you guys in the reactor, you guys on Dumont's ship. Each time there's like a little blurred pixel just with a big red arrow that says Hidden Sorrows.
It's a really good camera. Shit.
Gallant is going to take a minute to look at all of those pictures. Sees nothing. Except a big red arrow pointing at nothing. Looks up and goes, well, first of all, I didn't see anything besides a big, angry, light man pirate octopus thing. And it got very upset with me when I cut his beard off. Because apparently they were best friends. So I didn't see anything on that ship. Second of all, I don't need people to open doors for me, because one, I'm a man, and I open doors for ladies like a gentleman. But two, no door is strong enough to stop me that I've run into so far, bar few. There are a few doors, but there were none on the ship that I could not open. Or close, strangely, even though they opened the other direction. And three, just because one member of our team makes a mistake, assuming this Hidden Sorrows person is real and does actually exist and is actually or has actually been with us the whole time, that is an oversight on my part, so I'm willing to accept minor fault for that. But just because he messed up doesn't mean I should lose my pay, okay? I'm a very hard-working individual, and I don't think it's fair of you to punish the whole group for one man's error in the heat of the moment, when, to be fair, if he was fighting the guy we were fighting, and he is just a guy who can apparently be invisible, I mean, it sounds like he just got scared, and I can't see him in the photo, so I can't,
There's being
parse that
scared,
information.
and there's teleporting an assassin directly in front of me.
I don't even know who Johnny is.
That being said, your complaint is heard. We shall downgrade this from a demerit of, since poor security is a much more grievous offense to what is essentially a personal squabble, poor team building, nothing more than a demerit. Your pay will not be docked.
That's all I was asking. I will try to talk to Hidden Sorrows about abusing the magic coin, and also, for the record, I just want it on the record, I did not actually think we had a complaints department. So I will keep that in mind in the future. That was
Of course
this
there's a
whole
complaints
incident was
department. Do you think I'm a monster? Come on now.
well, we did just, say you were a demon, I thought.
Doesn't mean I'm a bad
Aren't-
person.
Aren't Well, this has been strange and my head hurts. I have to go help Dredger. Thank you for your time, sir, and your consideration, and I appreciate the change.
No worries.
And
Stop
then
by anytime.
I turn around to like go to the door, and I'm like, "How does this work again? Last time I walked in here, but there's no door now."
As you turn around to ask, you're back in the lagoon.
Oh, it's like that Batman feller.
So Dredger, you just hear, oh, so it's like that Batman feller.
I like that Gallant's only smart about union stuff.
That was completely by accident. I want it out of character. 100% did not think that was going to do anything. That was just like a joke that worked out.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So then he turns to Dredger and he goes, "Did you know we had a complaints department? Also, don't say that around the magic coin thing." It's my main microphone.
The ragman is just standing up, brushing himself off. He's leaving.
Oh,
Dredger
well.
will yell after him. We are king here now, yet you were here for quite a while first. If you swear allegiance to us, our goals are still quite similar.
He turns around and says, in no uncertain terms, I swear allegiance to no one.
This is fair.
Gallant raises his hand.
Yes. What's up?
I'm not entirely sure what swear allegiance means, but I know swearing's usually bad. But, like, you could still, like, this is your house, right? Like, we just wanted to, like, make a partnership, kind of, less, like, subservient. Is that the word, Dredger?
The ragman's going to hold up his hand. He's going to look at Gallant and go, you've got a good heart, kid. You just need better friends. And he's going to leave.
Scratches his head as he leaves. Sometimes I just don't get people. Why does everybody keep putting you down, old Dredger, old buddy, old pal of mine? You seem like a pretty stand-up guy. It's not your fault all these robots keep attacking you.
Dredger says, okay, like, Dredger knows what the issue is, but I don't know if Gallant's allowed to hear it.
You're fairly confident that even if you could tell him, or, like, shouldn't tell him, the armor wouldn't translate it to him anyway. Think of this, like, his armor is like a full-on environmental suit, including his eardrums.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, everything that he sees, hears, smells, everything else, the armor, like, filters. Whether to protect his sanity or to prevent him from, like, thinking the armor is trying to betray him or hurt him in any way. Whether that's out of malicious intent or benign intent, you don't know.
Yeah.
All you could tell so far is that the armor doesn't seem to let him know everything.
So
And so far,
Dredger will say then, once we were Avery. Avery was a fairly affable fellow who would make constant streams of terrible choices, eventually leading him to become us. And we are the avatar of drowning.
Okay.
So most people don't much care for us, especially considering that Avery had quite a few of what we shall call foot and mouth moments talking to people far more powerful than he was.
Hmm. So he had a bunch of bad bosses. Or maybe was it 7 evil exes like that Scott Pilgrim movie?
Dredger just kind of shrugs and walks away.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah. So, that's all I got. So that's the session.
All right.
I've posted the stats you guys gained for the Lagoon.
Nice.
And Evil Squad. I'm gonna type up the expanded critter options, but like the big ones are it unlocks shrimp. You can summon shrimp from this. Second, it unlocks you know those like predatory plants.
Yeah.
You can. That's now on the critter list options.
Okay.
Delicious ambush potential.
So yeah, I'm gonna stat up some of those plants. And there's some native birds. So like, you know, rocks and the like of those.
Yeah.
So rocks and gulls are now on the list as well. If I remember any others, I'll type those up as well. Critter upgrades. So certain critters can get certain upgrades using the raw life energy that's in these springs. So, like, if you wanted to spend critter points on upgrading waterlogged, it would be on a waterlogged by waterlogged basis. It doesn't. It's not you buy them and they apply to all of your creatures. It's like the it's like how you have to build each individual Mark III. You know.
Yeah.
You guys don't have Gorgons unlocked yet, but getting the Lagoon unlocked the Gorgon recruitment mission, where you can figure out how to incubate Gorgon eggs in the waters of life.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, you know, it provides 750 extra critter points per week.
Which is huge.
It's
Yeah.
huge. You can spend 500 critter points to gain 1 soul stone. Soul stones are incredibly powerful, but with your basic knowledge, all you know is that they can be used as willpower batteries for right now. And there was something else I was supposed to type up for you guys. I mentioned it earlier this session. I'm drawing a blank, though, because my brain's kind of fried.
I don't know.
I can rewatch the VOD. I was just wondering if either of you guys remembered.
I don't recall.
Let me think. No, yeah, I'm not remembering anything either. Are you sure there was something else?
Yeah.
Do you have like a category for it at all?
No, it was something we talked about earlier, and one of you asked for more info, and I said I would type up something later because I didn't want to lose my train of thought. But I don't remember it now. I can rewatch the VOD though.
Oh, it was probably like upgrade potential for the other thing.
Possibly.
Oh well, you'll find it. You're smart like that.
All right. Any final thoughts on the session?
I liked it. Johnny coming back was very unexpected.
Johnny Switchblade is now in the backlogs of my brain as one of the strangest characters I think I've ever seen in any fictional story in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no, yeah, it was pretty fun. I like the idea of his power. It's very interesting. It also is like very much in vein with that guy that I was trying to build, except like he just gets the powers from like being in proximity to the power.
Yeah, with Johnny, someone has to definitively prove they're better than him somehow. So like if you make an attack against him, he's like, "Oh, my attack's worse than that." No, it's fucking not. I'm the best.
He's the best around.
Does that have like any limits, or is it just like a hard like anything that he goes up against?
Yeah, it has a very hard limit. Remember how I was explaining how to build scalable powers? So, how I had to build that is Johnny has literally 15 wiggle dice in pretty much everything, with every extra possible, and variable effect on top of that. And he just gets to unlock them as things go by.
I see.
That's why he's so heinously expensive.
Yeah.
It's not even that good. Like, like you saw, like he desperately needed to do some shit, and he just chose not to. Like, A, he chose not to do stuff that would help him out. B, he made himself weaker, and C, even on top of all that, he still was struggling because he's a fucking idiot. Well, because he's an idiot and because he takes a while to scale up. Like, if you guys weren't nice and you just blitzed him straight away, he probably would have just died instantly.
Yeah. I was thinking what would happen if he did get Avery back. And that probably would have solved the scene without changing much about Dredger, but it would really fuck up Johnny.
Yeah, probably.
There's a thing I've been writing that will happen if anyone ever attempts that.
We'll keep it a secret. I don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah, like if anyone ever successfully disrupts the curse for a moment, there's a thing that's going to happen.
Yeah. I will say, you guys did a pretty good job of keeping the Ragman not hostile.
Yeah.
When it came
I feel like Gallant has a very disarming personality.
People.
Incredibly so.
And what are people made out of?
People.
People.
That's going to live in my head for the next year. That's beautiful. Oh, hey, speaking of live in my head, I wanted to share this. My mom and I went to the laundromat earlier today, and we saw a car we saw last week leaving the laundromat. Some jackass in my area has a like a shitty 1980s Cadillac, old beater, with a stack in the center of the hood so he can roll call.
What the fuck? What?
That
He has
sounds
a
like
foot-long stack in the middle of his hood that billows black smoke on a shitty beater car from the 80s.
That man is sitting there in the middle of winter when it snows, gripping the wheel with anger, veins visible on his head, and going, "Back in the 2000s, Al Gore made me a deal. He said that if I was a good little boy and burned my fuel and put smoke into the air, that it would no longer be cold. I'm upholding my end, Gore! What are you doing?"
Jesus Christ.
strong feelings this man had.
Some incredibly strong feelings.
No, Sam, it's what are you doing?
Hey, Mom.
Hey,
No worries, man. Sorry, I was yelling super late at night. Alright. Any questions, concerns, complaints?
No, I think we can just do the housekeeping stuff, like, if you guys want to, really.
Yeah. Okay, so the Gear Boys obviously have the workshop set up. The Mark IIIs are in mass production now. That's going to kick on next session.
Did they finish building the table yet? That's what you just said. Sorry, you said the workshop. I was thinking table. I don't know where my brain was.
No worries, no worries. Okay. There we go. So, let's see here. Workshop. That is an exclamation point. Wait. I cannot type. Mark 3 mass production. Project complete. Prometheus armor complete. Just to have that there. Now, you guys have 10 Gearboy dice to play around with. And 4 from Barry if you can figure out something to put him on that like requires nukes. Or nuclear physics.
Okay. Wait, that means we could win glaucoma.
That's
We
a-
could.
That's an advanced goal.
He's a nuclear physicist, and somebody already owns him because Chris's character Quake was a terrible person.
Can the Gear Boys bump up? Like, can they make upgrades to the Prometheus armor for points since they did the research project for it, or do they have to research it?
So, using the Gear Boys to build stuff is possible. And it's possible to do it without permanent investment of their dice. The Gear Boys you have are not like the best Gear Boys, and you're gonna need really good Gear Boys to push the armor. If you want them
That's
to
fine.
add
I was
stuff,
just curious.
they can do stuff.
Actually, wait, Sam, brain blast. Can we get like a mini, that blue radiation gun that they had? Can we get like a mini one set up?
Yeah. Yeah, we could do
Hey,
that.
Tom,
Yeah.
how do you feel about like all of the turrets being radiation guns?
Turrets on which?
Our base.
Oh, that's pretty fucked up. I like it.
Just anything that approaches that's organic just disappears.
Incredible.
I think we're gonna try that as a project, Sam. We'll put it on the list of things. You said we have
20 dice to play around with.
right, and we want to start. Oh, the Mark III mass production was already completed. Nice. What did we set up the table for? Just making it?
The workshop is for Mark III mass production, yeah.
Yeah. So then, per gear dice invested in mass produced Mark III. How many gear do we have? Is it like Mark III armor that other people can wear and not have to get like surgery for? Like, can we make some for the Gear Boys?
Oh yeah. Mark III does not require surgery. The Gear Boys can super wear it. It takes a little bit of training is all.
Okay, then I propose that we one Mark III per. How many Gear Boys do we have? 6, or was it 8?
You have
11.
Yeah, I believe you have 11.
Where did we put that? I only remember Barry. Yes, 10 generic and then Barry. So 11. So let's put 11 die into construct Mark IIIs for now, since we don't have the waterlog conversion kit done yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll have them all have their own Mark III, so they can feel safer and maybe like keep the water logged off of themselves easier.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
you have 9 more dice and 4 for Barry. What did you want to put those in?
is radiation gun mass production
That
for
can
the
be
turret?
radiation, yeah. Oh, gun mass production is just they can do what they do with the Mark IIIs. And basically upgrading the defenses is going to take a number of radiation guns equal to the number of turrets you want.
Okay, so then And Barry counts for 4 towards the mass production of that one because it's technically radiation based.
Yep, anything involving the radiation guns, Barry gets to do full power on.
So we have 13, not quite enough. We'll what do you think, Tom? Invest the rest into that for now?
I think Tom may have had to step away.
I said yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm kind of fading here.
No, you're good. This is like the last thing. I think we invest the rest into finishing the mass production and then whatever's left over into the first reactor upgrade.
Yeah.
Reactor defense upgrade.
I would like if we could put at least something into starting to make a shipbuilding dock.
Ooh, we can definitely try to make like a what are they called? A boat yard?
Yeah. Because I think the Fata Morgana definitely needs to have a significant mechanical component to it.
Honestly, like 3 dice to make a dock is enough. They could do that in a week if that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want the
A
project
dry
name for
dock.
the boat
That's
to
what
be?
they're called.
Sorry, what?
What do you want the project name for the boat to be?
It's called the Fata Morgana, which just means Morgan Le Fay, pretty much, but in Italian. And it's also like actively using a giant dead animal as a significant portion of the vehicle.
This is a working name. I'm going to post requirements later since all our gear boys are called for this week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Done and done. I am also starting to fade, so
Yeah,
thank you for playing, guys. I really appreciate it.
absolutely.
Thank you for hosting.
All right.
It's beautiful.
Or